It's almost like 3 o'clock in China.
I know, we better hurry, to be fair. Yep, let's get on with this. Session 101.
The broadcaster has indicated this channel is intended for mature audiences.
Yeah.
I'm not mature, right? I can't watch this.
Then don't
can't watch
it.
myself.
True.
It's like the girl that was in The Exorcist. She never got to see the movie, but
Yep.
she performed in it.
Yep. That is weird though, right? That is a weird thing, right? You're not even allowed to watch the movie you were like a key role in. It's bizarre. Also, thank you for Gathers for the follow. Welcome. That was very bold of you to follow this quickly, quite frankly, if you ask me. Oh, dear. Yeah, no, right. Something. Welcome to the Keepers of the Golden Gate session 101. Yep, we're at this side of the mirror now. I'm Ryan, the GM. It is the 13th. It is a Friday. Take from that what you will. And the last time that happened in this game, there was a lot of hands with Justoria, the dark.
Oh no.
So that was creepy. And now it's 13th of August, 2021. Here are the players in Discord order for those that might not be aware of that fact.
Hello, I'm Adrian and I play Arya Bluebird, the half-elf druid. And I do remember the hands section because I think that there was a point there where I was the only one up and that was scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. Why did you have to remind me of that, Ryan? You are horrible. Anyway, that was me. See you later. Bye. Well, not bye, but next.
Bye!
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Sean and I play Bastiel, the Warforged Cleric.
Hi, I'm Scott. I play Crumbar, who is a half-orc paladin.
Hi, I'm Hannah and I play Isla, the Tiefling Sorcerer.
Whoa.
Hello, I am Natalie, and I've yet to be introduced, so I shall remain a mystery for now.
Whoa. Hi, I'm Callie. I play Serene, the Furball Granger.
Look at that. And yeah, on the main screen is the aforementioned hands the party had to fight. It was it was gross actually.
See, I'm quite glad that my Roll20 has gone completely black for no reason, so I didn't have to experience that.
One of my favourite things about their abilities was if you attacked them with a multiplying rule. So they kept splitting into piles of other. It was horrible. It was exactly what you don't want to be fighting in the dark in the billows of like what's meant to be a pretty princess castle. Yeah.
It's just not okay.
Yeah, because it started with the power going out and her screaming. And then
So you can see why I'm a bit
traumatized.
So I'm only highlighting this now because I'm not doing a Friday the 13th themed session, just so everybody can relax, because no. If it is in fact scary, it's off your own back. You have done it to yourselves. Right, so bit of admin first on stream for those that apparently follow us and care about such things. Thank you for those people that do that. Isla, you want to tell the greater world what immunity you picked?
Also picked fire immunity because I am very easily swayed. But also, I've just seen 2 giant hellholes appear and be very fiery, and it seems like the wise one to pick when we're fighting the abyss.
What side of the vote would you have been on? Regardless of the results, what do you think your instincts would have been on? Because obviously that was a jump to level 15, 100,000 XP, or immunity.
Like, that was exciting, but I think I probably would have been on the immunity train, because it is, like, I do agree with what everybody said. Like, we will get to level 15 whenever we do, but immunities are like, that's not a thing you get.
Yeah, they're quite special. So yeah. It's, as I said, the group is like, I felt like it was a worthy enough comparison. Yeah.
Yeah, and as someone with like 2 resistances already, I know like how good a resistance is. So like an immunity is like, great guys, we could just like full on walk into the abyss now and be totally fine.
And there will be times where I will be doing fire damage to you guys. You just need to bear with me because it will happen, and I'm not going to edit the abilities out because it doesn't matter. The things that have them will still use them until they see that they do nothing. So yeah.
But we'll all look super cool.
Yeah. You literally can walk through the explosions now, which is badass.
I'll be fake it so they keep doing them.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I'm on fire. Like, was this like an Austin Powers movie now?
Yeah.
I'm really
Oh
badly
no,
hurt.
it burns! It burns!
In the middle of fighting a red dragon, why are we all doing performance checks?
Because we're badass.
That would absolutely be what we do, though.
I'm just
We
gonna
are
start
100%
using,
those people.
produce flame cantrips the whole time. Like, oh no, I'm still on fire.
The dragon sat there scratching its head going, are you literally lighting yourself on fire now? What the fuck?
I also, as a sorcerer,
Power
if I ever do choose to use Fireball as Fireball, no longer have to worry about my party.
Yeah.
So, perks.
Why are you
God.
casting that all the time?
Well, I normally the one time I've cast it, I turned it into a lightning ball because
Because
Oh,
vibes.
Yeah.
She's gonna
Yeah.
turn into Oprah all of a sudden. You get a fireball, and you get a fireball, and you get a fireball.
If we ever need
It'll-
just like a torch or something, I'm just gonna
Oh,
light
yeah.
my hand on
Fireball.
fire.
just light each other on fire. Like, well,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter now. Nothing matters now. Just everything's fire. This is literally fine. We are now that meme. Yep, as we said last time. Oh dear. Obviously, all of that except currently Natalie's character. So I would maybe pinch of salt with some of these ideas for now.
No, no,
know.
oh no.
Oh god, no, you disappeared.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
Oh dear.
You left for a
Oh,
second.
did I? I don't think I did.
I'm
Lies and
pretty-
slander.
Pretty sure you did.
Lies and slander. How dare you? I've been here the whole time.
That
Yous
gets
all
nearly
left
killed
me.
you. That would be great irony.
Yeah, it is now actually fine.
I did tell you though, right? My computer has been a bit. So that technical explanation I just went into there. That's yeah.
It is Friday the 13th, and we all know technology acts weird.
Yeah, and I might not be 100% either. So there is the fact that my energies might bottom out at some point, and that's exciting. So we'll see how that goes. But in a more accurate note, what do you remember from last time?
Well,
Mm.
Where to be?
let me look at my notes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to begin with, I tried to talk to Moreno a lot and figure things out, and wasn't really having any of it. Like, he was like, "Oh, I'm just so great," but I'm not going to tell you what I'm here for.
That does sound exactly like Moreno, to be fair. He is pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to be charming. Just didn't work. Just didn't. So, we took a little trip to High Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Just did some random walking about. Bastiel tried to, I don't know, charm some ship owners.
Put
for
the moves
some
on.
reason. Put the
Yeah.
moves on.
Tried to become
All I
a
wanted-
pirate. He tried to leave the
Yeah.
party. That's what he did.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just gonna explore my options,
Yeah.
see what else is out there. Crumbar went camping. With Moreno. Again, tried to figure stuff out from him. Didn't work. Then we went on a ship. Omen.
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
That was pretty much it. Went to a transfer point to another ship. And got to Omen and stepped off the ship and oh hey, this was Hero. Saying, oh dear.
Yeah.
That's
Series great that way.
that's pretty much it.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I'd say that's about it, yeah. Anything... anybody else thinks needs added in there, or is that well good?
I tried to speak to the Elf Queen, but she just straight up patched me.
Yeah, I mean, you did get Bastiel to do sending, and there was no reply to the sending, so yeah, there was that.
Mm.
And
New
then
number.
yeah, and then obviously you did go to the edge of the woods with Moreno. Had a wee chat with him. It's good.
He told me fuck all, really.
I mean, he didn't. Again, what do you expect from the guy? He's not there to be interrogated, right? I think he pretty much stated that.
Why is he here?
Oh my god, let me just tell you right now.
Shits and giggles.
Yeah.
I think he's great.
Thank you.
Why are we so suspicious? He gave me a lift and he didn't even ask for a pastry. Like,
That's fair. He did give you a creepy as fuck answer or reason why he didn't ask for a pastry though, which, you know.
Yep.
But
Yep.
That's
but Isla's pretty cool with dragons, so she thinks that's perfectly normal.
yeah. Fair.
She has skewed versions of how the world works.
It's been a rough week. Right, I guess I should probably do the old good hello to the chat as well. There we go. Look at me, I'm not an imposter. I remember the things I do. Right, goals. Let's have a look at those, shall we then? So, general goals. Crumbar, where are they?
Get a new Janus, learn the artifact's new name, locate GGW, and acquire Black Fang Spear.
Yeah. What's your personal one?
My personal one is get GGW to upgrade weapon.
Okay. Arya, what's your personal goal?
I think I was still looking into that. I don't have access to that sheet from where I'm playing right now. I do have to say.
It's okay.
But
For the
I
most
have
part,
thought
we're
of
actually
it
just waiting on you
because
coming up with it. I
it's
was going to say, yeah, it's just really when you come up with a replacement for that one, to be honest, is what we're waiting on. So when you have inspiration, you can let us know. Keep in mind, you've got a whole team of people to help you with that.
Thinking.
You got a whole team here.
No,
Feel free to
honestly,
utilise them.
I don't quite know what to even say.
This is it.
Yeah.
We're in it together, as they say.
Somehow wrong, but okay.
No, I get.
I know. No, honestly, if people have any ideas, that would be brilliant. But I'm trying to figure out what would be important right now, and I'm not coming up with anything like important to her. Like
That's fair.
I think,
the eye was
to be
her
fair,
everything.
yours still stands if you want to find out how the eye blew up. Like, still valid.
Yeah. I mean,
I think the answer to that though is use happened
caused
to it.
I know.
Hey,
We tried
why
to
do you keep
rewrite the
happening to
rules. I need to learn that the rules of magic are written that way for a reason.
Yep. Okay.
But
I was
also,
trying to convince you guys to go for a game of chess again. Would probably be too much.
You can just try and get that
What
yourself.
can I
Yeah.
say? Arya had one toy.
Yeah.
One toy.
oh,
and they
you've got a really
broken.
cool bow.
I was gonna say, and Ruya
It's
staring
glitter,
at you
it
like I
talks
was cool
now.
before the eye.
I
It's
was
not
your
a
first.
toy. She is my friend, and I've not lost her. If I lost Rhea, then
Yeah, it's like
bloody
Ruya is the
hell,
life
you do
companion.
not want
Oh
to know.
no. Real Mother of Flame comes out then.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So,
But yeah.
so we can still work on it. As I said, as long as everybody knows they're able to chip in their 2 cents towards your goals, I'm sure that'll
Yeah,
help the
that would be
ideas.
lovely, yeah.
font. And Bastiel.
Learn the heart of the mountain's name.
I liked how, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the affirmation that was conveyed in that was palpable. I liked it. It was good.
I'm kind of confident about it here because, like, finding out what's at the core of the disc is something like every civilization would have tried. I expect there to be like scientific research or something. What's down there?
Okay, yeah, I like it. I like it. And Serene.
I want to find out Moreno's motives. Why is he here? Why won't he tell us?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Exactly.
He's
Yeah,
sus. He's sus.
He is sus.
He's fine.
Nah, he seems cool.
Yeah.
Fine. I'm sure he's fine. Anyway.
Do you know something, Isla? Me and you'll just go off and have our own campaign, right?
just the cold dragons is cool.
Yeah. It's Dragons and Dragons and Dragons is the campaign title, and it's just roll for how cool dragons are.
We just play dragons versus wizards constantly.
It's great. Oh dear. What about your personal goal, Isla?
Mine is to uncover new information about tieflings and their link to the abyssal breach.
Yeah, see, the audience thought we were going to say dragons there, but we didn't.
Dragons. but also the moon.
Aha.
I'm very much swithering on whether or not I change it to something about the moon. Moons. Because I'm stressed about the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Might come up in a minute.
Yeah. That's fair. Crumbar, we've had yours, and we have obviously an additional person on the goal tracker now that no pressure on the first couple of sessions to come up with the goal, obviously, as a personal driving force. When you do come up with one, you can let us know. Generally, we do it at the end of sessions, not the start of sessions, for giving me a week to try and come up with something to do with it. Sake there, Natalie, but that is pretty much how goals work. I feel like you've seen enough of this and know me well enough, and we talked long enough about it that you know how it all works. So good.
I know your brain.
Yeah, what people should have noticed that they may or may not have is I deleted one of the general goals.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay.
Like, just we only have 4 now?
Yep, it was a blank slot. It was empty.
Ah,
And you still
I
have
did-
10 goal slots still.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did wonder last week why it jumped straight to wrap up chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hang on a second.
Wait a minute.
I was too tired.
No, to be fair, I think we kind of all were. And it had been. Yeah, it was nice to do session 100. I'm glad it was done. Technical issues and people's fatigue aside, yeah. I think it wouldn't have been the worst to have delayed it another week, maybe, to try and get everybody with some energy. But then, given how everybody's week seems to have went this week, maybe it was worth running when we could. So, yeah, I think you just have to pick your battles sometimes when it comes to this stuff, sadly. Regardless of that, though, yeah, so we're in the game. We open up on worried-looking Rastira, rubbing his hands, looking at the group. And then, who's at the front of the ramp? Who came off the boat first?
Probably me. I'm kind of agitated and itching to do something.
Yeah. And Rastira just looks at you and looks worried, as if waiting on someone's response from the group. Expecting a response, obviously, to his oh dear, is there an omen? Yeah.
You scared?
Is that what Bastiel's saying to him? Yeah, just, are you scared?
Yeah, but then I'll turn to Isla before he can respond.
Oh no! I will look terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Why oh no? Oh dear. I thought you'd be happy to see us. I look very unconvinced by that.
Yeah, and
yeah, I'm like, I don't think that's true.
he keeps rubbing his hands, and he looks and he goes, it's not that I'm not happy to see you all. It is, in fact, quite impressive you have made it to Omen. It's more about my time limitations here. I would like to be your guide through Omen, but I cannot. I am busy. And he looks a bit confused at saying that he's busy. When he says that, it's annoying him that he can't just be the guy that he was palling around with you guys. He says, however, let me do some introductions. And then he steps to the side and reveals something you could probably have noticed past him anyway, because they're tall. Who did he notice?
Tiefling.
Oh. Natalie.
Moreno.
Would you like me to describe him or just drop his picture into the chat?
Both. Both is good.
Okay.
Oh wait, this is
Okay.
your person! Yay!
Please excuse the drawing is not finished. Standing behind him is a very tall, dark elf. Standing with a cane. His left hand has long, extended, deformed claws. He has magenta and purple eyes, and he is dressed in the finest outfit. It is silks that are embroidered, minimalist, but clearly a lot of money has been spent. Short white hair that reaches just round about his shoulders, and is just standing holding a cane in his right hand quietly.
Yeah.
Mm.
And whilst everything's taking in the moment, and the audience get to take in the moment, and then the backlighting goes down, Rastira says, "This is my was my apprentice. He will they will show you around on my behalf because I trust them. And he just looks at you, confused, like he's almost about to like apologize, to you guys, and then he says, "Yes, sorry again, dear." Stands there awkward.
I'll pipe up and just be like, what is it you're busy with? You mentioned and you left in such a hurry.
Yes, and it looks like you've caused him pain when he said, like, he's like, I'm not even allowed to discuss. Even me meeting you here was a great request on my station. I'm so busy right now. He just looks tired in that moment, like almost the facade of him being stressy is just really like he looks like he's not slept. He's like, I need to know that I would tell you in great detail if I could, but I cannot. So I won't. Simply. Okay, just nods awkwardly at you, like, please let that be okay. This is why.
Do you need help?
And he walks up and he just like clasps, like just picks up your hand and just pats it gently. And he goes, no, and just walks away.
Yeah, that's fine. I look like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Like almost like he couldn't exchange words with you. He just had to just exchange a physical pat and then just like that should
fine.
be enough.
Yeah, I'm very stressed.
And it's a bit awkward between you two a little.
He's quite awkward though, so valid.
Yeah, and then he looks at Maratis and he says, "You know, look after them." I mean, kind of nods at you affirmatively.
It would be an honor and a privilege, sir.
Quite, yes. Okay. And he just slowly wanders off into the city from where yous are.
Philo dear was right.
I'll say to Maratis, "Oh, the right hand's right hand. It's handy," and I'll extend Wrath in a handshake.
As you say that, I just kind of look down at my hands like, but there's only one.
Do you
right
extend your left hand, you dick? Is that what you do there, Bastille? That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maratis offers out his to take it and shake it and give a kind of small bow. The pleasure is all mine, I'm sure.
Yeah, Bastille was he was quite excited to shake your hand after the bro moment with Zedreka, and then I see this Wendigo hand enter my palm. It was kind of like when you go on holiday and everyone tells you that there's no spiders there, and then there's a fucking tarantula in your room. Like,
Yep.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh wow.
That was very visceral.
Yep.
You're not even like flesh and blood, you know. Of all the people to be judgy about somebody having claws and being weird like that, honestly, it had to be you.
I'm perfect. Yeah, cool. I'm being accepting of the dark elves.
Yeah.
Oh, true. For Bastille, that's quite a big. Yeah, well done.
Could have fooled me there.
Can we move off the gangplank, please? I feel like we've all just been stood awkwardly on the gang. Like, let's all move down.
Before we go anywhere, dear, a few ground rules. My advice, stay with me. Is that clear?
Oh.
Is this a dangerous place or what's going on?
You're new. And new is easily played with.
For those at home, the wonderful Moreno. Not Moreno, sorry. Maratis. I can't even remember who's who. There is, my brain's fried. Not bad.
That's a good point. Like, that's the exact line that would make me look around and go, "Where is Moreno, by the way?"
Where is Moreno?
So I'm just thinking.
Is he just with us?
He's probably last off the ship, I think. Why
And
not?
what sort of games do people here play?
Oh dear. I'm going to have my work cut out for me. Well,
We are
for a
curious
start,
people.
yes, quite. Perhaps move you somewhere a little less obvious.
Is
Where to
anywhere
take-
here less obvious? And looking around like, this is a thing.
Yeah, I'll move this to that map as well, just that screen that I had for the backdrop, just so it's got a bit more vibosity. Shut up, it's a word.
I love it. Oh.
Definitely a word.
Yep.
Well, there's plenty of places, but you have to know the right ones, and you have to have the invitation to get in. And luckily for all you, I am that invitation.
I think Moreno yawns at that exact moment, which maybe reminds everybody he is also there. And just like stretching his arms over his head and looking around. Because he is a tall boy, I think he was like, what, 6'10" or something, I think I said it was.
It's how tall are you?
6'2".
Why is everybody so tall? So I look insane. I'm a full foot shorter than
You're
everybody.
just like the child.
Mhm.
Making her...
I make my hair big.
We get at least
I
a
use
foot.
static to increase my hair.
Lightning lure, tie it
I
up.
mean, I
Yeah.
do know
Yep.
guys that do like an upward sort of hairdo that's obviously meant to give them a couple of inches.
Yeah,
more,
I
but
do
hey,
that, and then I stand on my tippy toes. Maybe in High Rock I bought some high heels.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't. It's fine.
Maybe you'll just constantly do a little like level 1 spell so that you can like.
I know, just float.
You're burning
constantly
levity
burn.
every
Yeah.
every like so many hours.
Just be like, I'm tall. She's never cared about it before now.
that's character. Oh.
Oh.
Ryan, I can see a goal getting added on at the end of this session.
You know, if you were to like, you know, climb
Yes.
on Crumbar's shoulders, you'd be taller than all of us.
That's true.
Totally.
That might be a battle plan for the future. We can get one of those halfling like backpacks so I could just stand.
Yeah, I get the
Like
backpack.
Yoda and Luke.
Yes.
Oh no.
I love it. Oh, dear.
I'm looking around to see if everyone in Omen is this tall.
Uh,
I'm just
so, like,
unlucky.
see if you look around, you'll probably notice that there is quite a kind of wide range of different like races here. And there's quite a good handful of like halflings and gnomes as well.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, like it's
Well-
there's definitely like a height, range here.
Okay. I feel less bad.
Yep, remember you get here on merit mostly than anything else, so nothing that really else matters. Like if you're good and useful, I guess you get to be here, but beyond that, yeah, they don't care what other statistics you come with. Which is nice, I suppose.
Can I ask, does everybody look as,
Well dressed.
fancy
Yeah.
schmancy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put together.
they do. That looks like
Oh no.
that looks the norm.
So
here.
we are not like battered.
I
Like,
more than
I
everybody.
don't-
Like,
I
let's
like-
face
I
it,
think
Arya
any of
quite
us
often
look-
has freaking twigs in her hair.
And
Yeah.
Serene, yeah.
As to
Like,
the Serene.
Serene and I are just like so dishevelled, covered
Yeah.
in like nature.
To be fair, aren't you both wearing half plate though?
Yeah.
So you do look kind of badass, right? You've got this kind of yeah, and you've got.
Is it
You're-
both gold half plate
I
as
think
well?
I think only Arya's is gold, right?
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's Crumbar's old hand me downs.
Was it not Bastiel's?
Bastiel.
Did Bastiel not?
I bought for Dongerbella.
Yeah, I think that would just be like. Yeah, you bought it for Donderella from like a random. Was it from the Feld Forge? Was it there or was it somewhere else?
I'm sure it was.
Because if it's from the Feld Forge, it'd be slightly darker metal. like a really dark steel looking thing, because Agani, was it Agani Adali or something? Adali Aganis?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That sounds familiar.
yeah, she always uses like really dark metals, and she kind of like weaves fire magic into them. So yeah, because she's a tiefling.
Sad.
She was a tiefling.
I've not met her yet.
She's badass.
I'm so sad.
She was in one scene, and I loved her to bits.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, type of
Maybe
person.
I'll make that my goal.
Yep, you should just settle down with her. To be honest, she's badass enough.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so down.
Yep. Oh dear. But yeah, so everything around it, you are seeing. Everybody looks like they've got somewhere to go. Everybody is either walking or taking what looks like a train. Because there's trains here. Big, magical, floating slabs of moving things. Yeah. Does it look like what, sorry?
Does anybody look like they're obviously walking around with somewhere to be, blah, blah, but it's just the notion of like, does anybody look like it's like they're, taking their time like a tourist, like looking around, or is it just like
Roll insight to the place.
city centre London at rush hour?
Try and gauge the place that way if you want to. Try and maybe insight check. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I was wondering if that'll be like,
Yeah.
would it be like perception or?
No, I think it's insight, right? Because you're trying
Insight,
to you're looking around and trying to like get a feel for what you're seeing, right? So yeah,
Okay.
let's see how that goes. Okay, yeah. What you're gathering is there are no tourists here.
Ooh.
Every day looks like they have a purpose here. There isn't even like a lot of milling around. Like there are people sat in slightly idyllic spaces, but it does seem like it's been arranged. Like people are sitting there for a set period of time, agreeing to stand up together and leaving. Nobody just hangs back and like chills out in like a park or something. Yeah, there's very little like recreation look visible.
This is sad.
Yeah, or at least just it's not done in public,
Place.
right? But that's what you can kind of gauge from like the kind of
Yeah.
strange docks area. The docks aren't that busy. That's not a surprise. Because yeah, the docks are rarely used. It seems. Yeah.
To get here.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they all like teleport here or something, don't they? Okay, fair enough. So
Well,
having
no,
looked around them.
See, for a city full of wizards,
that
you've
he
not
might
seen.
actually be right.
So, Arya, for a city full of wizards, you've not seen a single person teleport since you got here.
Oh yeah, because that's a no-no. It's like Horizon, but worse.
Okay, so how do they get here then with just these fancy trains?
Just live here.
Stay
Stay
here
here.
forever.
Don't leave.
No, it's like the Hotel California.
It's a lovely place.
You can arrive, but you can never leave.
You're scaring me now.
Sorry.
Like,
No.
Isla looks really freaked out the whole time we're here, and was kind of expecting to be like immolated as soon as she set foot on the ground. So she's
Right.
like, "Oh, not dead. That's good.
Everything's a bonus now.
Yeah, winning. Not instantly apparent."
You're back on that low bar again. I think I like it.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Yep. But like, okay, everything's up from here.
Okay. Any other people trying to gauge the scenery or anything like that at all while we're?
Let's just do a little produce flame just in my hand, just to make sure the magic's working. Like, I haven't turned it off as we're like got into the city.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's a good test to do. Yeah,
Good,
no,
good,
yeah, and
good,
it does
good.
work.
Yeah.
It does work.
If I see Serene do that, I think I would also change my eyes with dramaturgy to be like, just gonna like flick through everyone in the party's eyes. Be like, okay, cool, we're all good.
Yeah. Yep.
I would just be kind of like seeing if I could sense any presence of like the GGW or anything like that.
With what power?
I will. Can I not do it with divine sense? I'm sure I can.
You need line of sight for the button set.
Oh.
I think.
I can message every 120 feet.
No, so paste it in, right, and let's go through this, right? So as an action, you can open your awarenesses. And next turn, you know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you. Well, anything that's, lights up as those things. Let's see, are any of those going to happen? No, nothing happens as a result of that, which means there's no, unless I'm mistaking party members that may or may not be celestial, fiends, or undead, none of those things trigger for you, sadly. And it's total cover you're thinking of, Bastille, that would block it. It's not just line of sight. It's so long as it's within 60 feet and not behind total cover, you're good. You don't necessarily need to be actually looking at it, which is handy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so no presence for nothing triggers with that.
Nope.
And then I have.
But it does work. I was going to say, but it does work, which is good to know.
Yeah, so I will try again at a later date.
If you remember, Serene also has a similar thing, but can see aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, faith fiends, and undead. So a few more. If you
That's
look
pretty
for
good.
for dragons specifically, and it's within a mile.
Oh,
It's not
That's
in my
awesome.
favorite terrain.
we may need to talk about that later then.
I like the idea that everybody steps in, they meet their new tour guide, and then everybody just starts like pushing all their daily buttons.
Just check him.
Yep.
He's standing, undulating that left hand. The claws just going very gently.
Oh.
Okay.
Is there
Alex,
somewhere we can stay? I don't feel like we've booked accommodation.
Are we finished playing with our magic?
Well, it seemed worth testing if it still worked.
I kind of
But
tap
I
him.
am here for any
locale.
questions, dear. I am not here just to walk you around. I am here to
Oh.
fill you in, per se, with what
Oh.
knowledge you need to know.
How long have you been here?
A while. And since no one seems to want to cast this particular form of magic, I would like to cast Prestidigitation on the party and clean them the fuck up.
Hey!
No!
With or without their consent, I'm doing it just.
I grab my note.
Also, when you said undulating, it's this scene that always comes to my mind because I love the way she stands with her hands in that scene. The way she's got grabby hands. Powerful.
That's how he stands.
I'm also,
Prestidigitate the whole party.
I love it because I have dramaturgy and you cannot do any of that shit with dramaturgy, but I've tried.
Moreno's going to walk forward in front of the party, who was not cleaned at all by your spell because he was immaculate.
Oh yeah.
And he looks at you and smiles with his toothy grin, and he's probably smiling at your smiling toothy grin. And says, "Were you instructed by your master or father?" Or he waves vaguely in the direction that Racira wandered off in, to stop us wandering off on our own.
Not to stop you.
Fantastic
It would be
news.
best if you stayed with me for your own good.
I think
But
that
I
would
leave
be
that
correct.
decision to
yes.
you.
For everyone's own good, they should probably stick with you. He just smiles at the party. And then he says, I'm going to explore. This is wonderful. I have never seen so many shaped mountains before, as he's staring up at all the spires. And he looks at the party and goes, don't leave without me, though. And he smiles at everybody, and then just like turns and starts to walk off. So if anybody wanted to say anything to Moreno, that would be your chance.
I just smack him on the back as soon as he said he's obviously not sticking around. After that would be a great idea. And I say under my breath, you little freak.
I will definitely shout out, like, if you stay within 120 feet, I can Oh, he's gone.
And I think like there's just this like, almost as he's wandering off into the crowd, just cutting across people that are clearly busy and trying to get from A to B, and he's just awkwardly walking in front. Like somebody walking in front of, traffic on a road, only it's people. And a lot of people just stopping staring at him like, who's that? Or why is that? More accurately. Yeah.
Arya's kind of looking at him with admiration because, let's face it, he's breaking the rules and she likes it. Well, she doesn't like people telling her where she can go and where she can't go, so it's quite nice to see somebody, you know, actively not listening to that sort of thing. And also, I have to say, when we were prestidigitated, if that included Ruya, she probably would have almost immediately like flown down and landed on the ground and then if there was any bit of dust anywhere, she probably would have rolled in it because
I was going to say, this is probably something
that
she...
clean.
Maybe Rui gets a bit frustrated at the fact that this city's quite immaculate.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it's a city full of wizards that have
No, it's
prestidigitation.
just no, but like you know how birds are, they just groom themselves and they place their feathers just so and everything. So I'm gonna guess that they also like a specific sort of like texture with, I don't know, maybe just enough dust to be nice. I don't know, and yeah, so I'm guessing she's not happy in that way.
Yeah, like it's almost the frustration of being like, wait, what, where's the dirt? How do I regroom myself? Yeah,
I was happy. I was comfy. I had it how I liked it.
Where have the smells gone?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel we all now look like, you know, when you like make a small child who enjoys being like dirty and running around when you put them in like their Sunday best and they just look like
my
sad.
nephew is this child. Yep. Give him new clothes. Within a second, he'll be covered in mud.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
And you know, for Arya, she probably like some of the twigs she had probably held her hair in a specific way. So now it's like, where'd that go?
You're having to rearrange them now.
And
So
she's
they
like blowing
settle.
hair off her forehead.
Yeah,
and such.
I might use Gust to like poof my hair up. No. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
I assume we're probably about to start moving.
Well, my thing is, definitively, does Andy want Morello's attention before he's gone? Because he will be gone, and then I don't think you have a way to get in touch with other than sending.
Yeah, I believe it's sending.
We don't know where we're staying, so
Oh, that's
we
okay.
can't be like, Mia's here.
I'm
How
sure
will we
he will
find
be
you?
able to find us again.
Yeah, he seems way more okay than we are. So
Arya, if you wanted to shout after him, because I think you were trying to say something there, yeah. Was that not a thing? No, you still muted? Nope. Yep. Hello. Hi.
Yeah, I was like, how will I find you?
I think as he's walking away, you shout over his shoulder.
Is it
Just
over
look
his
for the most attractive person. And he walks off.
If it's
So I need a
sexy
mirror
together,
then, right?
He holds himself to
Isla looks-
standard.
yeah, very confused by that.
Before we get
To
going.
be honest, Arya doesn't know where that came from, but she just didn't want to give that to him.
No.
She just didn't
No,
wanna
she's not
admit,
confused by
okay?
Arya. Arya feels like that's fine. Moreno is like, what? Huh?
Well, before we get
No,
going.
Arya, that's just denial. Arya just didn't want to admit she finds him
It's like
attractive.
talking to the moon. Don't worry, there is a bit of a delay sometimes. Don't worry about it. You'll learn the pacing. Yep.
If you give me a moment, dears. One's wandered off on their own. Keep an eye. So, is there anywhere we would like to explore? You have somewhat free reign.
I want to go looking for signs of
Everyone just does different at the same time.
I know. I feel like we should have all discussed this like on the boat or at High Rock before we got here.
Yeah. Well, the other
Like,
way.
what is the game plan?
Everybody think the same thing. Oh wait.
Oh, that didn't work last time.
I mean, my general plan was to
Mhm.
investigate to see if there's any sign of Odyssea, and also go and pinch an eye off of Magma.
An eye. You mean the eye that is in his staff?
The
Sure.
only eye.
The only eye left.
I mean, as long as it's round and looks through shit, sure, why not?
Cool.
We would probably. I mean, this is like a diluted Razira who's a diluted Magna, so we're probably not getting anywhere near him through Marathas.
I mean,
You could ask. I mean, why theorycraft and shoot your horse before it's ran the race? You know.
so before we go and see the big cheese,
Right.
right. So before we try and go see Magna, is there anyone else wants to try and do it?
Not really.
There's a library. I would quite like to look at it,
More books.
but I'm not. Yeah, more books. But equally, I'm
PTSD.
not like. I'm not. If we're still having trauma about books, I'm not married to the idea.
I mean, yeah, I would like to go to a smith just because that's what I would
It's
like.
fine. We just won't
Yeah.
let
We-
Serene pick up any books.
I did pick up the last one. And
I think it's more that we shouldn't fall asleep while drunk near blood magic books.
That one.
Yeah.
That's
My bad.
that's
I think that's our rule.
Do you guys say that out loud?
Yeah.
Well, if we started having no, probably not.
no.
Yeah, that's
mean,
on the boat
I
on the way.
don't know. I think
Okay.
for Arya, for example, the mere fact that this person seems to be like randomly sending messages, and
I
obviously,
know that was. Did we all
like,
notice
even if
that?
we
I feel like
I said it out loud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think we all stared at you.
yeah, like to
Did
Arya,
it
that's
feel
a bit like
like sending or like message? Can I do like some kind of arcana thing?
You
see if I can look around and
100%
try and-
roll Arcana. Yes.
Yeah, because I want to try and see if it's a message. Then I'm going to look for someone within 120 feet
Okay.
that might be being messaged. Hey.
You couldn't detect any signs of spellcasting at all.
Ah.
bloody hell.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Mm.
I am interested in that.
Oh, I've got like a Bluetooth headset. That's one of it.
Okay.
Yeah, there are trains, so valid.
Fair.
You guys know that Arya's just gonna suspect that they're talking to somebody that's invisible, right? Since there wasn't
Did everyday become like a conspiracy theory? Not in the like the
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm
No
just
one
thinking that
Also,
that
I feel
sort
a lot of
magic
us have
exists, so we're just assuming that people do it
big
for funsies.
bosses who
Hmm.
can work outside of
Mhm.
normal magic rules. So
Yeah, I know.
I've just
I know.
realised
I'm
I
just
did not
joking.
long rest any of my things. I'm just going to do that quickly.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep.
I just noticed I had no sorcerer points.
Okay, Andrea, if you can like mute every so often, just because there's music in the background, and I don't want to be a.
Oh, can you
I don't-
hear it?
I
Wow,
don't
he's
wanna
at
be
the other end of the
copyright
house.
struck,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
It's very loud. Need to be a very big house. Yeah. It's obviously just a good microphone. So, yeah. So Moreno, I think what you're witnessing is when you ask
It
them,
really is not.
when you ask people, what is it they'd like to do, they just start rattling between themselves, going, "We never really talked this out."
Yeah, Maratus is just taking this all in. He is just absorbing everything they're doing.
I love the idea that
quietly.
like Rhaenyra spoke so highly of these people to you. It was an interesting.
We're not sure why. I don't think we gave him any reason to do
Maratus, I
that.
think.
Oh.
Yeah, so feel free to cut in if you wish to try and maybe pull them out of their.
Oh no, he's
You're happy to
quite
let them-
happy to just what he's getting a feel of this. He's analyzing.
I think, yeah, we're probably also trying to like huddle and whisper, but doing it incredibly badly.
So you're saying I'm maybe a bit of a wallflower. I see. Okay.
for now.
Junior maybe kind of step forward a little bit and put her hand up and be like, is there somewhere you'd recommend that we go first? Anywhere
the city
exciting?
has much to offer, dear. What do you prefer? Food, drink, knowledge, magic, gimmicks.
I'll just kind of butt in and just be like, I
I
prefer
think a
to
few
know
of us
if
were
it's meant-
searching various types of knowledge.
2 seconds, Arya. Grumbar, carry on.
I'd prefer to find out if there's been any trace of my god here.
What?
You're kidding, right, dear? A god in Omen.
He has to be somewhere.
There are no gods in Omen. I promise you.
Oh well.
I'll just kind of stay staring at you, just to that kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna look at you until you either tell me the truth or walk away. Or sorry, not the truth. Like either you tell me more or you just turn away.
Oh dear, you really are tourists. Omen is a place of knowledge and magic and where people better themselves. We do not have a want or need for gods here. So there are no gods here. We make our own power.
And like, I'm just like, wow, right out of Magma's handbook.
Yes, well, the king is what we all aspire to. Or most of us. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
As actually just the camera cuts away, someone's running really fast, it clicks back. Your body's fine. Yep.
Yeah,
So you
like,
will find no places of worship, no deific statues, nothing of that ilk. We don't do that here.
I like that in the background there's a massive statue of Magma.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask if there are any statues of Magma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I just love the idea that...
Yeah, I think Arya would look at that and raise
yeah,
an eyebrow.
same.
I don't see the picture, the statue.
Yeah, it's in your imagination, Scott.
Remember, make-believe friends.
It's in your mind, pictures.
Put up. I thought it was in that.
Do you think I made this art?
I don't know. You could have like sketched one in.
You have seen my art. It is not good.
I mean, you've seen my art. It's even better.
So. So, Grumbar, what's your response to that? There are no gods in Omen.
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
people keep saying this to us.
there
are no dragons in Santa
I'll
Clara.
just say it's like, and I'll just look at her, look at them, and just be like, for your sake, I hope that's true.
As do I. We have no need of them here. Meddling. Well, anyone else got any better ideas?
I kind of tap my staff axe against the floor. I say, take us to wherever, whatever school produced that lovely thing. And I point towards Salad Finger's hand. His Salad Finger's hand. What is that?
Referring to my deformity, dear.
Deformity? It's magnificent. Additional range. Strength, even. You're just talking about it like it's a tool.
Yeah.
This was an act of, some would say hubris, some would say excitement. I tried to do something that I was not ready to do.
Oh, we know all about that.
Basil's laughing now. Like, slowly.
You Google, didn't you?
Yeah, well, yeah, Arya's definitely feeling that because, you know, she now misses something because of something like that.
I feel the last 24 hours has been a big example of trying to push the boundaries. Where's your favourite place in Omen? I'm like, big eyes, big hair, like... Where do you want to go?
Depending on my mood, but I think right now, I can't imagine the food and drink you got on that boat was of any quality, so I will treat you to lunch.
Through the eagle.
That's
Ruya knows what lunch means.
Maybe.
Is there eagle here?
Goes back to my shoulder like a bit closer, kind of like, oh, there's food to be had. Let's go to my human.
I'm assuming that it's not pancakes, but it sounds good.
Oh no, it's this wonderful little tea shop on the other side of the city, mainly. It's quite wonderful. I frequent there all the time to buy their teas and their cakes, but they make wonderful scones. So if you would kindly follow me.
Interest.
Crossing the town is always nice when you're in a new place.
Yeah.
And I will start leading them to the trains.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
I definitely ask if there are pancakes in Omen, because Rasira seemed very confused by pancakes, and I'm concerned about the cuisine.
Sure you are. Just the cuisine.
Just the cuisine, mainly that. Did he know about pancakes? I have concerns.
Genuine concerns. Does
Yep.
he even know what a crumpet is? Oh,
But what if he did know and now he doesn't, and that's my fault. So
Yeah, just for clarity's sake, I believe Maris has possibly at least consumed a pancake once or twice in his life here.
okay,
Yes.
so they do have pancakes. Okay, that's good. That's extra information for the notebook.
Yep.
Great.
Yep. Mhm. Super leading. Yep.
Log that.
mhm.
Log that.
I tried to do it really subtly, which means I do not do it subtly at all.
Yeah. To describe the trains that you're approaching as well, these are fairly intricately carved, like almost slabs of like minerals or materials of some kind. There's definitely a shine to them. They seem to have like various infused sections of them, but very minimalist looking, and they almost look a bit like skiffs, is the term I would use.
Oh.
So it doesn't look like there's a lot to these kind of like hovering kind of trains, almost maglev style looking kind of platforms that seem like they don't take a very long time to get around the city, since people seem to leisurely stand on them and like lounge around, etc. Like standing bars, that kind of vibe to them. Yeah, which is odd because this place isn't like a leisure city, but this is a very leisure thing. The way it's presented, it is completely at odds with the everyday rushing around on the ground. But yeah, it definitely is quite metropolitan that way when it comes to the infrastructure here, and definitely just copious amounts of magic attached to everything. Like there is probably a hum of magic for those that are more sensitive to it than others. In this place, definitely like the edge of you're almost always going to sneeze magic, tickling your nostrils. So that's your experience as you approach the train station.
Wow. How do they run on a timetable? Or are they like the behemoths and they just show up when they show up?
are you actually going to compare one of the crown jewels of this city to one of those foul-smelling beasts?
Well, they both move and they move people. So yes? I look confused about why that's a bad.
Yeah.
Like, but they do the same thing.
Oh no, country girl versus city boy. Oh no.
I feel it's that as well. Like, I'm the least country of the country people because I was in the city, but not a magic city. So,
Aratus just like heaves an audible sigh and then just proceeds to stand and wait for the train.
oh, I feel like I'm not going to get an answer to my question.
The visible drama meter slides up a bit. Yep.
Yeah.
That was his autobiography, I think, was called Visible Drama. Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, the train arrives. I assume you board it without any issue.
Oh, I mean, I'm on the floor. I'm looking underneath the train. How the fuck does maglev work?
How do you train?
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
How do
by
work?
this. I understand boats. Boats are fine. Carts are fine. What is this?
Yeah, and this is very reminiscent to the boat you switched to, remember? The strange, weird, like, magic kind of slab that you stepped onto from the other one, the one that was, like, veiled and everything. It's very similar to that in design. Because, again, there was nobody on that other one. It was just I guess, receptacle, I guess, was the most clinical word I could think of there. To go fetch you people. So yeah. So
That was invisible, wasn't it? Or was it visible once we were on it?
so it was invisible until it appeared next to the place. The veil dropped and it was visible then.
Oh,
You crossed over to it, then the veil sealed again, and then it zoomed you super fast to the city. Super fast, yep. And there was like no inertia either, which was great. So yeah, and these trains look similar enough that it's probably similar magic. But remember that boat that you've got here was, again, more like a magic skiff where it didn't touch the water, again. Hence why it probably didn't have to do with like water resistance or the magic tides or any bullshit like that. Yeah. So, he was bored eventually after much gawking, perhaps, and trying to take in as much as you can about the surroundings. You are definitely attracting attention from people. They will not have the politeness of people in High Rock. They will talk about you.
Can we listen to them?
Yeah, 100% can.
What are they saying?
A lot of it is just going, oh, this is odd. I mean, how would people of this caliber get even into it? I mean, this is, don't tell me it's going to become, like, Glitterhagen. And they say that, like, city name with disdain.
Wave at, like, the nearest, as if I know if someone talking about, so, hello!
And I think
Hi.
when they do that, like one of the gnomes that have been listening to the other two talking about you, he probably just looks at you and waves back, and then the other two almost give him chastising looks, don't encourage them, and he just kind of looks at you like a last longing look, and then kind of goes about his business with his two companions. So yeah, definitely seems like people are happy.
Miss, but almost poop. On
yeah, 100% can actually
ones.
just
miss,
poop on them
totally
if they want.
miss, but
I know, I can straight up just poop on them if you want. I'm not fussed about that. They will just clean it eventually, but until they notice, that's funny.
Yeah, poop secretly.
So for the most part, you're finding that people aren't scared to share their opinions here. Unlike things like High Rock, where people are very appearances are everything. People are quite blunt almost here, to the point where it's yous are the wrong thing here in their opinion, so they can discuss you, is the vibe you're getting.
Oh.
But it's fine, because by the time you all process all this, the train's probably taken off, and yous are already halfway around the city, because they're fast. So yeah, you don't really get a chance to absorb the sights of the city on the way round. The only thing you notice is the statue of Magma seems to always be staring at you. Even though you've
if
clearly
possible, I would like to listen out to anyone saying anything bad about Rosera for bringing them in.
Oh yeah, not a single word is mentioned about Rosera.
Good.
Yeah, no one's that stupid. Yeah. So yeah, this is the thing you notice that you can tell the train clearly curved around the island that is Omen to get through all the city, because the entire place seems populated by buildings. But you can't really take in shapes of a city or directions of a city or even where the hell the port was. And the statue is still facing you guys. Big tall statue looking off into the distance. It's almost as if you're always staring at him. You never see the back of him. So that's something else you notice as you start disembarking.
Okay.
Does Magna have a back?
Have we ever seen his back, actually? Huh.
that's when you find out that he secretly has a hump or something,
Yeah.
and that's why nobody's ever seen his back. Use advanced magics to make sure it's not seen.
I honestly thought he was going to go down the Quirrell route.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought you were going to...
something else in his head.
Again, part of me is going, this party is capable of saying this shit out loud, so I have to debate if this is inside.
It's always worth... Yep.
So worth checking.
They are bad at clarifying. Yep. Try and do better at clarifying player chat and character
No, that
chat.
was Aria's
Yep.
internal thoughts. Just saying.
I got that, yeah. It's nuanced, okay? It's nuanced.
The chaos nature of use is so adorable, I love it.
So yeah. I think again, you are greeted with gawking and people just stopping outright what they're doing until they realise they can't justify the delay any longer and they shuffle themselves along. Some people will literally stop and write notes about the fact that they're clearly staring at you.
Can I write notes back at them?
Sure can.
Yep. Yeah, every time someone does that, I take out my notebook
Mm-hmm.
and I write, another rude person.
And maybe one or two might give you a double take as if, then they scribble harder, and then run off.
If they're
Do they
passing
think
by
we can only
close,
see them when they're moving?
no. Like next time, we kind of pass by someone that is like whispering about us, I kind of make a note to stand like super close to them, just to give them. I'm imposing, right?
Yeah,
I'm tall,
right, yeah.
So
I think as well, what you notice is nobody's whispering about it. They're just full on talking about it. That's the thing. Nobody has any kind of, let's try and hush this up. It's just straight away going, isn't this a bit weird? Look at these people. You know? It is very obviously them just clearly discussing the new thing to discuss. Again, in Hierarch, you might experience somebody whispering to their partner and then shuffling off quietly and politely. You know, if they caught your eye, they'd maybe say good day or good morning and leave you be. Here it's just them clearly staring, pointing, and then some people scribbling things down, going, yes, get that down. They're about 8 feet maybe. Like they're just blatantly studying you, I guess. So yeah, I think the closer you got, the more notes they would take. Yeah.
We really sure we wanted to come here? Maybe we should just go back to Anvil. I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone there, but it seemed better.
It makes so much sense.
I'm saying all of that, just to clarify.
For all the players' knowledge, right, this feels a bit like a big university campus. That's the vibe this place as a city gives off, right? So that's what you as players can gauge, at least for your characters'
and clearly
experiences.
everyone seems to like know everyone because they know when someone
like
new is here.
A campus university in the middle of the mountains.
So, you get to this cafe, I guess, or what is it? Where are you actually taking them, Maratus?
I'm just taking them to a little kind of like cafe tea shop that is Maratus's little favorite place to go and sit and detach from the world for a little while he studies.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. So yeah, everybody shuffles into this nice cafe. Again, probably not able to avoid people just staring or talking or like, you know, trying to like buy themselves time out of their schedules to come gawk at you.
So I'm guessing that once people live here, they don't really go out much, do they?
There's not much need to leave.
See the world, explore, new scenery, holidays, you know, that sort of thing.
We don't have time for that, dear.
No holidays, oh goodness. Yeah, that's not that great. You need to relax every so often, you know. Enjoy the world and enjoy nature. Not that I've had any of that recently with all that's been going on, but yeah. There's some beautiful places out there.
Darling, if Omen does not function the way you see it functioning, the world doesn't work. Omen is the world. All your defenses against the dragons and other unpleasant things, it all functions from here.
Crumbar just bursts out into like an hysterical laughter, and I'll just and then just like look at you and be like,
before you speak, the loudest thing in the room is in fact the scribbling after the laughter like fills the room. You just hear the quills on parchment quickly scribbling down from like the onlookers that have clearly gathered to witness this, like, but he's now laughing, something was very funny.
yeah, and I just look at you and just be like, it's like, last I checked, it wasn't this Omen that was out fighting back the abyss.
Oh yes. Who's supposed to be good at fighting demons again? What are they called?
I'll just stand up and like, you know, stand up, slam the table, and it's like, do you want me to show you?
I mean, you seem to be having limited success. If the people that fight the demons can't figure out how to beat the demons, then how fast are we supposed to be doing it? This is not our field of expertise. It's supposed to be yours.
This is a threat like no other we are facing currently. Yet you hide in your tall towers where we are out sacrificing our lives.
What do you think we're doing in our tall towers?
Towering like the pathetic little insects you are.
Oh,
Whoa.
dear, dear, dear.
And you hear,
Things take
sorry,
time to
you hear the word
understand.
in the onlookers as well. You hear like somebody scoff, outrageous, just in the background dialogue of other people onlooking.
I would like to remind you that you have been brought here by the grace of my master. And every time you have an outburst like this and sully the name of this city, you sully him. So mind your tone. Secondly, the best way to fight something is to learn it first and then beat it once you understand it, not blindly going in and hitting it with your fancy little swords. Because that's clearly not working, is it? The abyss needs to be understood to be beaten. So forgive us if
So
that's
what is
taking
known
a
of
bit
it here
longer.
yet?
Pardon, darling?
So what is known here about it? Because it sounds like if it was so well known and understood, then
It is
from the moment this crisis erupted, you guys would have just told us what to do and fixed it.
And again, it is not our field of expertise. The great gold worm claimed that as his grounds. We have worked on other things, but it seems that that is not working anymore, and we will have to start exhausting our time and our resources into it. But we are still working. A problem such as this is not fixed overnight.
Well, you then, if that
So
is the
before
case,
this, you guys had
under-
no curiosity about
2
that?
seconds, Adri. You're talking over Scott again. Also, I like to believe that before
Right.
even Scott speaks, the camera zooms out a bit and there's just like a very destroyed scone that was being attempted to be covered in butter or jam or something as Maratis was talking, and it's gone now after that speech. Sorry, Scott, you were saying.
yes, I'll be like, well then, you must understand why I must find Odysseus.
That name probably means nothing to you.
Oh, really?
No, to
I just
Raz.
quirk an eyebrow at that. Like,
Yeah, I'll be
excuse me?
like, the Great Gold Worm.
Oh, it has a name.
Yes, he has a name.
Again, I reiterate that gods are not a concern with an omen. We want nothing to do with them, and we have nothing to do with them.
Insight.
Sure. What are you trying to incite though? What is it you're trying to like gauge?
I want to know whether they do fuck with gods. That they read about them, they learn about them, they care about them more than they're letting on.
You tell him, you know,
I also feel like the definition of God is broad.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Can I do that?
You know,
May I?
a being you worship,
Oh,
make
man.
statues for, talk about
Give
nicely,
special names.
consider them to be the source of all the good things in your life. And there's a
So,
few boxes being ticked.
Natalie, do you want to maybe convey what Serene could gain on a 13 from what you've said? Based on...
I would say that you can glean that there's a difference between knowledge and active participation. They have knowledge, they do not have active participation.
Mm.
What did you say there last? Just again, just so I can kind of collect my thoughts again.
That they have no interests in gods. They have no. They just don't care for them. They don't. That's not a thing for them in Omen.
And I'll be like, well, as I said before, I hope for your case that's true. And I'll just kind of like again, just I'll probably just at this point I'll like look around, noticing everyone writing and things like that, and I'll be like, I've lost my appetite. I'll be outside, and I'll just kind of storm out and kind of wait out in the street.
Yeah, and like every like opens as if you're like heading into like a premiere with paparazzi, like parting the seas of just onlookers.
Damn it.
And then obviously you can see Moreno is talking to like a whole bunch of like maybe like 30 or 40 people that are like following him outside.
Hi. See,
I hope that one would make friends.
see, when I'm leaving, I want to slam the door. I want to put like all my force in it and try and break it.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Can I-
Don't be
can
that
I-
person.
Can I try and help him with dramaturgy?
I mean, it won't be that long. This is probably like some kind of fancy boutique type cafe. It's probably like a trellis door. So it's not going to take a lot of effort.
Rice paper.
Yeah, it's going to say, it's
God,
like,
people.
I was going to say, and
I was gonna say, yeah, Dragon's got insulted in that, so like I'm helping with the door slamming.
Aria?
yeah, there's so much other, like, Ari, are you like falling downstairs? Like, are you okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It just
I
sounded like a
almost
lot
was,
of.
but
yeah.
yes.
I'm glad you're not. Also, that was creepily prescient of me, but okay. So yeah, give me an athletics check, Crumbar.
Athletics?
Yep. This is to not fail at breaking a trellis.
Why did that happen?
It's okay. You did not fail at breaking a trellis.
I don't know what a trellis is, but yay!
The fake door.
I'll get you an image.
Like those
It's not-
fence.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's not just a foot door. It's like it's a bit more nuanced. But yeah.
Lapis.
Yeah.
Maratis is currently just like that scene in The Lion King with Scar going, "I'm surrounded by idiots." Like, just like, why
I mean,
me?
he already sounds that way, so
Yeah.
kind of how I imagined him.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, how much you know about, my
I do.
idea of Omen. Okay, cool. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I am dead set, like, hard set on
Also,
the fact that
there you go,
someone
Scott.
here has it.
Scott,
Adam,
if you click on that link, that'll give you an idea of what trellis looks like. To give you an idea of what a fancy cafe with like this as a door would look like.
oh, right, yeah, so it is just like a wire frame.
Yeah, it's basically just made out of like fancy boutique type stuff to make it just
Yeah,
look special.
I probably wouldn't even have slammed it. I probably just would have, like, charged right through it then.
Just Homer
Kool-Aid
Simpson
Man.
in Japan. Yep.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Can I use dramaturgy at the same time to open all the windows?
Yeah.
Just like, oh,
Yep.
interesting wind.
This poor little garden center
I
style cafe.
side eye you very carefully when you do that.
My hair crackles with static.
There's definitely like just loads of scribbling from everybody watching as well, and some of them leave, and obviously like muttering away to themselves about rudeness and such.
Can I look at someone near to us doing that? Like someone like just be like,
Yeah.
Do you know we can see you? I I'm gonna poke them and just be like, are you aware? I just want to check because sometimes you think people can't see you, but we can see you.
I think,
What's your area of interest?
and I think this person, let's say they are let's be crazy and say
What?
they are, what race would be interesting here? A Dragonborn. So let's say they're a Dragonborn.
Awesome.
Yep.
What color Dragonborn? I have interest.
They are like kind of coppery looking.
Okay, a metallic. Sure.
And they look you up and down and they go, I'm very well aware that you can see me. I am not an idiot child.
Well, you don't seem aware that we can hear you.
Oh no.
Lydia, sit down.
And I'm sitting down. I just want you to know that we know that you know that we can hear you.
Since I seem
so
to be
everyone's
invited
aware.
into the conversation, and he just like shuffles through and sits in Crumbar's empty seat. and then like
Sure,
just like
where are you
finishes
from?
like whatever Crumbar had ordered,
Potatoes.
just starts to like munch at it. Going, yes, good taste that one. A bit loud, but yeah, good taste. Area of
Sure.
expertise.
Mhm.
Exciting magical particles, like this
Ooh.
conversation. And he sits down and kind of just looks at everybody, and then just like looks at Maratis. Maratis, what is the look you're giving this person?
Get the fuck out of
Mhm.
here now.
They just like tap the table a couple times and stand back and goes, yes, quite definitively exciting.
Oh,
Just
well,
nods.
it's lovely to meet you. I hope that goes well.
And he chuckles to himself and goes, okay. And walks away. But straight out out of the cafe
I
this time.
got rid of one of them.
Yeah. The rest scribble as he leaves. Yeah.
We look at Serene.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
Ruya,
any of them
course,
are...
starts picking at Crumbar's.
Oh, we can all share that scone now.
Serene, was
Do
there
you
any
think I
reply
should
there,
ask
Serene?
them if...
She'll look towards.
if
2 seconds. Serene, you've been
Sorry.
very quiet, that was
What?
all. Yep.
I was saying, what was Isla?
Oh, I
Same.
just went very quietly to say... Not that quietly, because I'm not great at that. Do you think any of them are researching the moon? If you had to guess...
Is point of call if you need to know about the moons.
Is it just him? Only him?
May I inquire your interest?
I'm quite interested in the moons. He mentioned them, and I wondered if they had anything to do with what was going on currently. You know, moons.
Considering I am his, well, now, thanks to this ex-apprentice, I'm sure I could ask him for you.
Would be great. Just want to check the moons. All good. I'm going to eat my scone. Just in one bite. Kind of like alarmingly, like that's not how you're supposed to eat a scone. And my teeth are sharper than you'd expect them to be.
Well, does anybody else
I
have
think,
any more questions?
Arya's gonna. Well, not a question, but well, actually, yes, it is a question, and then I'm going to get to where I'm wanting. Can I ask, were you always here? Have you always lived here, or is this quite new? Did you move somewhere? Well, from somewhere to here?
I'm not quite sure where the interest lies in this conversation, but I was not born in Omen. I was brought here young.
Okay.
Anybody born in Omen?
See, the reason why I'm trying to say this is, in most other places, people do have something that they believe in. Some god, some local leader that is respected and has, protected them during bad weather and bad times and such. They all have something or someone they admire and they look up to, and they might have, shrines and churches and all sorts of places for them, and they see that entity as something that they feel protected by, and something they appreciate, and something that has values that they try to live by themselves. And I think what I'm trying to say here is, I understand people here don't believe in gods, and that's fine. Everybody, does what they want and believes what they want. But well, traveling a fair bit, I've learned just how many different gods there are, and how different the people that believe in each of them are. And what I'm trying to say is, I don't think Crumbar meant to be rude just there. I think he just felt a bit insulted because that's his belief, and it was, well, considered or talked about as if it's nothing. And I think he just wanted it to be acknowledged, or at least respected a bit more. But it's okay, especially I'm guessing if you've been here this long, then some of any other ways of thinking would not be important to you. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. I think Grumbar just got a little bit sad and maybe thought that his entire way of thinking is not valid to some people, and that made him a little bit upset. But he's, well, what am I saying? At best of times he is a little bit rude, but he's got a good heart. He's good at heart. He's got it all. You know, it doesn't mean bad. He doesn't mean Rusira to, look bad or anything. It's just something he believes very strongly about, so he can be a bit impulsive. I just thought I'd say this so that, you understand him a bit better. And, others that haven't spent as much time here.
You hear in the background some scribbling and something muttering, possibly some kind of maternal connection with the orc.
Can I return that person's hair a different colour?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna turn their hair green.
And then they just kind of like blow it out of their face and then carry on.
Maratus just kind of looks you down, just kind of softly for a minute.
Give a weird look.
And then, it's not that we don't believe in the gods, darling. We acknowledge their existence. It is unfortunate that we cannot deny their existence. They are real, whether we like it or not. The problem with most people for here in Omen, their problem with them is they don't benefit a lot. They meddle. The only times they seem to intervene in mortal affairs is when it's inevitably going to affect them, or if they are going to take some twisted joy out of it. I'll give you this, but I'll take that kind of scenario. That's what the gods are. They take when it suits them. You can beg your gods to come down and close the abyss. The great gold dragon himself. He has made a legion of people to defeat demons. I don't see him at the abyss, do you?
You're so lucky, Grumbar.
Oh, you have no idea how much I know that.
Okay. So I think on that note, let's skip outside, right? Like, let me
the problem is nobody
2
has
seconds,
seen him
Adri.
in a while. But
Let me pause us there, and then let me move to outside, because I want to check on what Crumbar actually gets up to when he storms off, because I think a lot of people from the note-taking will have followed outside, based on what's probably about to happen.
Okay, well, as I go outside, you said that these people are still following me, taking notes.
Well, no. You walk outside, not long after you get outside, as I said, you notice that there's about 30 or 40 people, like, lapping up whatever the hell Moreno is saying to them, off in the kind of middle distance, where it just seems like he's got himself a crowd. And he is a tall boy, and he does stand out. So like, he's definitely doing well socially here, as he's just engaging his audience, and then there'll be a copper dragonborn that runs past you looking like he's got his tail between his legs, and then yeah, a couple of people will maybe like shuffle out muttering stuff and maybe run past you, like half-hearted apologies as they maybe bump you as they run past to like join the crowd at Moreno.
What way was the Dragonborn going?
Just away because they were told off in the cafe.
Where are they?
Yep, don't worry about it. It's not your scene. You left as they took your seat. Yep.
Oh, right, that was that person.
Yep.
Right. Sorry, I did.
It's okay, you're good. We're up to date. So, what was your plan at storming out? Besides breaking a trellis.
Let's go talk to Moreno then just now.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think as you approach, probably still fuming.
What, sorry?
Says as you approach, probably still a bit pissed off from the conversation with Maratus. God, I'll get names right. It's because I've got M. names. It's not great. God damn it. As you approach the crowd, again, these people are like, as I said, varying ages, varying races, all just lapping up everything he said. And then you can see like Moreno just like clearly loving the attention. And he points to one of them and goes, "Sorry, you were trying to speak. The shorter, uglier one was interrupting you, but they said nicer things though." So yeah, if you want MD's attention here, Crumbar, you'll need to make effort to get it.
Yeah, I just kind of barge in. I'll be like, "I see you've been making new friends."
Ah, I remember you. It was Crumbar, right?
Glad to see you remembered.
Not just a pretty face. And he smiles at you.
Have you found anything of interest here yet?
Yes, me! Look how much they love me! And everybody's like scribbling notes about the fact that you're talking to them in like a familial way. Like he's looking around. He's like, "Why? Have you found something more interesting here?"
I am hoping to.
"Why?" And he kind of just laughs.
Because so far nothing has given me the answers I seek.
"And why did you come here looking for answers? This is a city full of questions."
And I would just kind of, I'm assuming like I can still see that big statue of Magma.
Oh, always, yeah.
And I'll just be like,
Staring at you.
I'll be like, because he might have the answers.
I think that's made of stone.
Yes. I'm talking about the person the statue is of.
Do you think they're that tall?
What, sorry?
He says, "Do you think they're that tall?"
And I just start laughing and I'm like, no.
More scribbling as well as you do that. Goes, "1 second, sir. We've kept the audience waiting far too long. Yes, sorry, you there with the purple robe? That's a bit. Everybody here seems to like the color purple. Why so much of it?" And then the person's like, "So what's it like being a white dragon?" He goes, "Well, you see, being a white dragon's much like being any kind of dragon, but better." So like he has just told people exactly who he is here.
Yeah. And I'll be like, they're not too keen on dragons here.
And he looks at you really, really confused. Like, did orcs not praise each other for glorious deeds? Simply my being is a glorious deed. Look at them. And then everybody is staring as if waiting to hear what you're about to say.
I'll be like, well, maybe I'm wrong. But if you're going to show them that you're a white dragon, why not really show them?
He looks at it and goes, "Why would I do that?"
Think of how much of awe and in love with you they will be even more after that.
And he kind of looks at you confused and he says, "I think you're confusing performing at their behest for allowing them to bask in my presence."
And they're like,
I think I'm starting to understand your fascination with Odysseia. Huh. Okay. He just like nods to himself, like the first time he's ever really had any kind of deep thought look on his face since he joined you guys. And everybody seems to be scribbling away at that as well. And he turns to everyone and goes, "That's enough for today. Leave." And then they just kind of look. And he just looks at them and goes, No, I said leave. Go now. Go away." And shoos them all. They all begrudgingly leave, muttering to themselves. And then like Moreno walks closer to you again, as if now like you've got a bit more privacy, and goes, "You're an orc, and I assume these creatures here," waves to the crowd dispersing, "would expect you to pick up the nearest weapon and prove that you're an orc. Why don't you?"
I've not found a suitable target yet.
Correct. And he just grins with the sharpest teeth.
I just smile at that, and I'll extend my hand to like shake to like as a handshake, and I'll be like,
No,
"I've
he looks.
misjudged you."
He looks at your hand and he goes, "Yes, you really have misjudged me. I'm a hugger." And he just hugs you.
If, like you just
But it's a
kind of,
very brief.
like-
Like he leans in, pats you a couple of times on the back politely, and then lets go.
and I would just be like, "Hmm," and it's that kind of. When was the last time Crumbar had a hug?
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, huh?
He goes, "You like drinking. Somebody here must also like that. Let's go find them and make them part with their expensive liquids." Yes?
I'll be like- I'll just grin and be like, "Now you're speaking my language." Where do
No,
you
but
suggest we went?
yes, we'll do that. And he smiles again, half confused by it all. And then, yeah, just wanders off looking for somewhere that's going to sell booze. And we'll go to break there, because we're probably due a break about here. So we will come back at, what are we at? We're just past a half past. Let's say it's 20, so 9:30? Yeah, let's go back at 9:30. Let me pop us on the old mute and break screen. Back soon, folks. Hey, we should be back. So, this is us. We are back, and welcome to the Keepers of the Golden Gate session 101. That's right, folks. I now say it that way. And I am Ryan, the GM. It's part 2 of session 101, in case Hannah is trying to find the place of the video. And it's the 13th of August. You're welcome. The 13th of August, 2021. It's Friday the 13th. Nobody's died yet. Everything's good. Here are the players.
Hello,
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I play Isla, the tiefling soul. Hi, I'm Natalie. I play just the unknown class so far.
Also, to answer your question, it's upper class, I think, is what you're playing.
Very.
Unknown my ass. So, yeah. Right, so Crumbar and Moreno go off to find the bar. What does everybody else in said cafe do? Because I think, I know Arya had something to reply to about, obviously, Marantis' thoughts about the GGW. But that's okay if that conversation puts out. Where do you go after the cafe? What's the plan? I mean, probably by the time you've got to it, the people that own the place have probably already cast mending. Like, as I said, this is a place full of wizards. Like, that's not even an issue. Yeah, but they maybe like thank you for like the attempt at intervention, but then they're like, oh no, and they handle it for you. Yeah. It's like, I'm 50% oven. Knocks on your chest.
Sarah's handy. Good job. I'll change the subject.
Points at left arm. Rasira.
Stick my tongue out, kid. Should be very obviously mechanical.
That's very creepy.
Episode 101.
Did-
It actually says about wolf. They have like gummy inside of them, living.
Yeah, they're weird. Like I guess like if you were gonna go for cyborg as a definition, they are the high fantasy equivalent of that, right? So it is this weird like living metal material type being. It's very hence why healing spells work on them, right? 5e lore only people who are gonna like edition war in the background. So yeah. So yeah, you can have a tongue if you want a tongue. Leave them alone.
I don't know.
Off in the distance, you can. Yep. Almost as if it's in the central like position of importance.
It kind of follows. I take it.
Like in the sense that Magna isn't looking down. Magna is like looking off out over like the the horizon as it were. But like the entire statue is like body checking you. Like it's always like shoulder checking you, if that makes sense. It's never like looking off to the side or with its back to you. It's always facing you. It's never. It's not like the Mona Lisa where it stares at you.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Mhm. This is more like now everybody here has seen Lord of the Rings, right? And those big amazing statue men, like the gates of whatever it was called, Old Kings. Like it's like those the way they would like look over you constantly, but when you're sailing towards them, they're always like facing you full on body wise. But like that idea, but also not.
On hand.
Yeah, I'm on hen. Exactly, I'm on hen. Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of looking off. Full guide has taken. I want to back up. Thanks.
Also, if you type in "I'm on hen" to the gift generator, this is one of the gifts. Not that far down, and I love it. Why? Why? Fucking mad. Yep, no thanks. Oh dear.
Tyler with Sarah. Like, someone watch there.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Obviously, he's not eat another whole scum and chew with my mouth open. How long has Grandma been gone at this point?
Like only like maybe like a minute, right? 2 minutes, really?
That's it. When
Yeah. Yeah. Like maybe at this point, when you leave, you might witness him and Moreno go to walk off after the crowds have dispersed, right? Because you'll probably leave the cafe at the time the crowd disperse, unless you stay inside and talk for another half hour, for example. These are probably about in sync at the moment. Yeah. So what is the plan, gang? He's leaving cafe, going somewhere else, or are we still in media res?
Okay, so I assume somewhere going there. Decide when. But trying to go there.
I don't know. What is the plan, folks? What's the thoughts here? Also, this is like, the statue is just that pose from him, by the way, only made out of stone, obviously.
So he can Magma things. Build him faster, better, stronger. Three. So they keep sure. Okay, I'm gonna 3. Discuss it. Same thing. Look like it does not at all. Still seems very much talking to people. Don't like.
Yeah.
That's so.
And it also means the person who feels great about somebody seeking their knowledge credits themselves in the act, right? It's great. These are welcome. Yeah, you can fuck up somebody's house. Well, let's have the scene where obviously if you are leaving and discussing things, I guess, on just to move locations, and yeah, are you gonna get Crumbar and Moreno's attention, or are you gonna leave them to their own devices? Because I feel like you've probably witnessed them before they would even ever notice you guys. So what is the plan? You have the power here to reach out to Crumbar and Moreno if you want their attention. Yeah, probably, yeah. Who? Okay, okay. What do you say? Yeah, and I think like Crumbar, you just see like Moreno as if like annoyed by a wasp quickly like dart around, looking at the sky, and said, "There is a voice in my ear." he says to you, Crumbar. No, it's much more... And he just looks at you and doesn't say anything. It's not you. Looks around, and then, yeah, probably spots you waving, I guess, yeah. Goes, ah, the mystery has solved itself. An answer finally in the City of Questions. Come, Crumbar. And he just strides like he owns the city. Yep, and the nice kind of like... Yeah, he did. He was actually in range. And then I think like he walks over and he says, like as you're waving, he maybe just puts his hand up and just stops you waving your hand and puts it down by your side and says to you, I think next time perhaps just raising your voice the distance may be more effective. Kind of just looks at you like with a blank kind of face, not any kind of judgment or anything, just almost like he's trying to gauge you. Moreno just looks like he feels great. Basking in the sunlight that's probably this nice orange glow in the sky permanently. It says, where were you going next? Stares at you and goes, is there no more description than that? I think if you describe it, I'll decide if I want to see it. Kind of looks at you, confused by the question. And he's like, I hadn't put any thought to the act. And he smiles and looks awkwardly at the party like, I'm doing a people, right? And and then he says, and he looks back at Moratis and says, you take them to your dwelling and I'll find something to do. And he just smiles awkwardly at the end of the sentence. Yeah, consent or no consent, yeah. What does Crumbar actually say in the scene? Other than saying, I'm convinced this guy's the white! Okay. Goes, I think while everybody's kind of like giving some strange looks to Moratis, I think Moreno will say, do you have alcohol at your dwelling? Crumbar, you're in luck! And he like picks you up by like your shoulders and then sits you down very curtly again, as if celebrating briefly. And then like just pats you on the back to kind of like nudge you towards the party. Goes, you see? Promise made, a promise kept, and a city to explore. As he looks off into the middle distance himself. Probably exactly in line with the Magma statue, yeah. Okay, nice. Oh dear. And then he says, until whenever we're leaving, he shrugs. As I said, I would appreciate it if you didn't leave the city without me. He shrugs again, because I think that would be nice. Enjoy. And he just grins very self-satisfiedly and just kind of takes a couple of steps back and then pirouettes and just almost skips off into the crowded city. What was that, Sean? Hello? Sean? Nope. He's gone. Oh, we need to plug Bastille in. You're back with us? Good. Right. What were you trying? Were you trying to say something there when Marina was off skipping away and you were... Or what was there? Or was it just noises? Because it sounded like you were trying to say something. Ah, right. Well, Moreno's left, smiling. He's off to go explore the city. He said, don't leave without him. He grinned and said, that's probably polite, right? Don't leave without me. Bye. And left. And then Maratis is like, come this way to the train station. So, yeah. So,
Okay, well, one armor is shopping. So, you don't very much.
let me wait for the unmuting.
You unmute.
The unmuting. Oh, yeah, that's you. There we go. Thank you.
Strange.
Data.
Please state your anyway describing such a thing. It's someone codes their work and it's I'll grab it with holding the together, so it definitely on me.
Valid.
I do a light dog and I'll I'll do a job to catch up on a thing. Tour guide. All like this.
I made use of a wee handout as well, by the way, just so you know there's a handout in the journal tab. Now, it's probably helpful.
Maratis offers out the left hand as if giving them.
Over. I take one step back in case it explodes.
Just staring at the cover, the back of it, everything. Am I able to get anything from it?
I don't know. Like, do you wanna? What kind of role do you wanna do? What are you trying to glean? I guess would be a more accurate.
Kind of glean what kind of magic is to do with this, and then to see if I would know somebody that would know that kind of school or house of magic in particular to try and get them in the direction.
To try and gauge anything from that angle, it would need to be something like detect magic that would come up, right? Like looking at it from like an Arcana point of view would be to try and recognize any, say, obvious symbology or anything, but there is nothing like that that's obvious. It just looks like a kind of almost like really dark leather, like almost black leather bound just book that somebody would like bind and write in.
Okay, I'll cast detect.
Okay, do you want to pop that into the chat? Thank you very much. And yeah, there is 0 magic on this. If anything, when you hold it a certain way, like ink drips onto your hand, as if running loosely on the pages. Still wet, which would be weird.
That's Grumbar or Scott?
Scott Bar. So yeah. Just an inky hand stain.
Yeah, we all just look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, the actual accurate in-game time, yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Like as
Mhm.
me. With Pa, someone tried to attune to it. Did we detect magic? And it didn't as magic?
Didn't.
It was a true magic item. Yeah, but we did things before that and it didn't register.
Yep.
Was one of them
So
detect magic?
somebody tried to attune to it. It wasn't attunable, and then you did detect magic and learned that it wasn't a or somebody did detect magic and it wasn't a singular skill. Sorry, it was.
So it did still read as magic.
It was a.
Magic.
It was like a pure reading that came off of it. Yeah, pure or true or whatever word you want to use. Scholars will use the word true because it looks fancy in a book, but
And then I did. Was like,
yeah, and you.
yes.
And like, there's only one example from history where people suspect the dwarves had like a holy artifact that may or may not have been a true magic item in the past. Yeah.
Was it- I thought
Yep.
I had to check whether
No,
it
yeah, it's good.
actually detected magic and it's like, ooh, it's been
You're good. It is the same spell, I believe, that you used. So yeah, you'd expect if this was a like true magic item. Yeah. Yeah.
back to the don't you take my hand to clean? So tempted to cast a spell now.
The interesting thing is the ink doesn't move. The ink stays. Yeah. Sure. Okay, so are we screen wiping to this, like the Moreno? Not Moreno, why do I keep calling you that? Fuck's sake, names! Moratis is what I said, completely unedited. Moratis's house. Do we get there? Is that where we get to next? Yeah, no, nobody's doing anything on the way. This is last calls for doing anything on the way. That's what. Yeah, I'm just. This is the agency moment. You get to tell me if you want to do something on the way. If not, we move on. You could do that here. Like, what do you think wizards work with? Like, there's like, everybody and their mother here will have loads of random stuff lying around. You could probably just ask Moratis for stuff like this, right? So yeah, it's up to you if you would need to deal with that on the way, or if you would wait, ask them when you got to their house. Because it's not like you don't have money, right? You do have. Okay, if you expect Moratis, that's fine. I'm happy with that. So yeah. I like the best is like I've not been taught what imposing is. That's fine. Um, so yeah. I think in that case, then we screen wipe to Maratis's lodgings. Is that maybe a vague way of describing it? Yeah. So do you want to describe where, like Maratis lives? I guess for them. What are they looking at when you arrive? I'm getting. This is the image I'm actually getting of the place just because it's kind of fitted everything you've just stated. Like. Mhm. Okay. I will state as well. There's Serene might remember the name of it. I can't anymore. Was it a night bloom? Was that what it was called? The flower, Rastira's favorite flower. There's probably at least one plant here that is the flowers of that. Which was Rastira's favorite plant, which was very difficult to cultivate. Uh-huh. Because I believe that was like an elven flower. I believe I described it as. So this garden at least has one bush of that flower here too. I'm strapping in now. Oh, he blew up. So the siege continues well. It's okay. Okay. So do you want to give us some rolls for that? And so Let's give us stealth to see if you're actually gonna. Yeah. Where have you taken us, Philippe? I'm up for it. Time to get Angela Lansbury on Cameo. Stealth to see if anyone notices you, like, shuffle off like you're not unnoticeable as Crombar. Depends, are you in armor mode? Showing off? Then yeah. Okay, MD's passive, hit 17. I think the answer is there's at least 3 yeses in this part, I believe, isn't there? So, I think... I was gonna say, yeah. I was gonna say, I know I had 3 wisdom primaries here. I was like, I know 3 of you got 17, I'm sure. So, Arya and Serene and the Bastille all notice Crombar trying to sneakily sneak towards a rosebush. Do you say anything? After Aratus just said, don't fuck with the garden. I don't think he's looking at you, I think you have just spotted him. So yeah, I don't think you get time to like try and like eyeball conversation this. I think it needs to be a do you use actually interject or you know. But is it gonna be but is Bastille the type of person that would just have heard someone say, here are the rules and then just immediately disobey them? Right? So like yeah, where is Bastille's hospitality chip? Yeah, but like if you're not going to be stealthy about that, then that's obvious, right? So how do you want to do that? Yeah, what I mean. Because you can try and be stealthy about trying to get his attention, but as you can tell, it slowly becomes pantomime, which I love. But we're working our way to that, but we're not there yet. So you tell me how you get his attention. Also, Serene, you also notice all this, so I like to believe it's just the 3 of you that have the 17 passive just staring at him like, oh god, what's happening? Because yeah. So, Serene, do you let this play out, or are you going to say something? Keep in mind, I have no preference what the outcome is. I'm only asking because you all notice. This is the agency moment. No, it's just a white rose, right, Scott? No, they said you cannot touch the garden. The back garden is fine. And this is, you have literally now just noticed Crombar about to fuck with the front garden. So he's literally about to piss on the hospitality of your host immediately. So that's okay, we don't need any more explanation. I just need to know if people are going to try and stop you breaking a rose. That's all. There's no more thought to it than that. Okie dokie. I feel like everybody notices that. That is there's no there's a lot of magic just happened. So nope, Scott, you need a wisdom save. Yeah. It's just actually ridiculous. Yeah. Right, so it's only 9 radiant damage you take. Yep. Yeah, you do. You're pummeled by. There's a lot of little Bastials just pummeling you. Spirit Bastials are attacking you. Yep. 9, yes, because it's radiant, but you get half because it was 18, half to 9. Yeah.
Very invested.
No, it's all on you.
Small ghosts.
Yeah. So that's obvious. So everybody can turn in see Crumbar. You know, very like not the easiest to see when you look directly at him because he's got like a fancy cloak that does seem to obfuscate a little bit of him, and then he's just being pummeled by a lot of Bastials. It looks so sus. It is unbelievably sus. Oh yeah, there's no subtlety to it. Like you just straight up saw him cast the spell. Like. Oh, that gif is killing me. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's that Simpsons scene where it's like, "This is the world's sourest candy. Where the hell's the candy?" I don't know. That's just what I get. Like, yep, Homer's jaws drawn right in. Um. Mhm. Yeah. So you get all your health back, which is nice.
As we go. Mother.
And then we take a dramatic pause. And I will. No, it is. It has to be. You have to look. It's imagination, Scott. You need to do some of the work. Okay. Right. Take 700 damage. You have to spread them out over your next character ideas. So once you get through a bunch of those, let me know. And we'll look at the corpse pile. Let's see. So primarily, my question is, Natalie, I think you may or not have too many spells prepared on your list. Just FYI. I'm 100% not staring at your spells page right now. I am. but it's what you know and what you can prepare per day. I think you can prepare, is it 14? I think you can prepare per day, and I think you've got 16 or 17, I think, prepared. That's okay, don't worry, this is why my brain does this thing. And then what to do is just send me a clip of whatever you're keeping, right? And no problemos. Right, so yeah, I think as you walk in, you've got like the big fancy side sweeping staircase that comes down to greet guests. There's probably some ostentatious fountain type thing that kind of sparkles with different coloured water and like clearly fake birds, like made of light more than like substance, flittering around the fountain. And then you just hear this kind of very almost rolling, rich-sounding voice from the landing above, saying, "Maratis, darling, is that you home?" And then you hear the click, 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 click of her fingernails on the top landing as she like reaches the top step and looks down and goes, "Is it people I should come and greet, or are they passing through?" "Yes, your dream lady." And then she giggles to herself at this statement, "dream lady," and then she starts like lifts up her dress and then starts like just clacking with very sharp sounding heels down the big kind of marble case, like staircase, towards you guys. Very, very slow, methodical, annoying, like the ticking of a clock. Yeah. Ah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She politely smiles at that exchange, and she looks at the group a bit tentatively. Like, you know, some kids just brought back their school friend and their mum has to, you know, entertain them now. And she looks and goes, "Yous weren't quite what I was expecting from Maratis' description." Like, for example, you, and she goes, like for example, you, my dear, you chose to keep them. And she like vaguely gestures at her head, yeah. Oh no, she'll look at you and be like, "No, those I'm talking about." Hmm. I love it. It's so good. You look up and then just tilt the head, but I love it. I think she just rolls her eyes and looks at somebody else. Looks at Bastel and goes, "You are quite what I expected, though." And then just like puts her hand out and says, "May I?" And she puts a hand like where your heart should be, and then she just like kind of presses her kind of violet, kind of like, was it violety grey? She is, yeah. Like puts her hand, a violety grey hand on your kind of chest, and then like kind of closes her eyes, and you can almost hear like her change her breathing as if trying to mimic some kind of heartbeat. And then she just like that uncomfortable moment passes, and she goes, "Huh," almost impressed, and goes, "My late husband would have liked you." She smiles at you. Lenara laughs and goes, "Of course." As if there was never a question that. And, yeah, does.
Talking about things.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you just do Bastiel. What would you do in the moment? Okay, yeah, general history. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah. Right. You have never heard of the house, Benel. That isn't that shocking. Because again, as I've tried to explain before, like elven culture isn't like a mono thing. Like there isn't just this is what elves are like. It's very pocketed. So you could meet a bunch of elves that act totally different, like a different bunch of elves. There's very little unison between them, and as I said, like there's no like elven city as such. There's no elven government. There's no, unless you just count the queen as all of this. So yeah, the only weirdly unifying point of the elves is the queen. These being silver folk as well, because they're dark elves. They a lot of their family names literally were buried, right? In the war. So yeah, Bastille maybe wasn't necessarily furnished with that information, and only ones that may or may not have like taken up, say, leadership roles during that time would have been noteworthy to dwarves. Your research when you went and worked with Oradak, again, it just means their house didn't overlap with whatever Oradak was doing, right? It doesn't mean you say they don't exist. It just means they've not done anything that has overlapped with what someone like the Dwarven War Effort or Oradak's like teachings in Anvil would have done, if that makes sense. Yeah. Have you got?
Also,
And like the mother, like almost apologizes. Marathas, did you make them walk here? You should have shown them the trains. And then she turns back to you and she goes, "They're not quite my late husband's original work, but the foundation work for the trains was," and she slowly says the word, "improved upon by those that came after him." Mm.
it's kind of
Yeah.
more free.
Yeah, no, yeah, and she goes, "Marathas, you didn't tell me they were going to be quite so polite." And she kind of like chuckles to herself a little bit, and she does like a very like very slight curtsy in response. "You might just make it an omen yet." And then she kind of like she does, and then she goes, "You shouldn't judge them too harshly. They are new here, and omen is quite quaint for outsiders." She looks at everybody else. Is anybody else like obviously making weird eye contact with her? Because she is willing to engage with everybody on like a one-on-one intro thing, since she is the lady of the house. Kind of mostly staring at Crumbar and I was gonna say it's mostly Crumbar and Serene. She's kind of looking up because she's not really interacted with either of them yet. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yep, burned, bitten, chewed. Scott, well, what do you want to say? What was the message within your words you wish to convey? You know he's a guy, right? You know Marathas is a guy. Okay, yep, yep, they're all she. Mm. Yeah, and both Maratis and the mother have responded to Celeste as well.
Motion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Moreno? I mean, you were drinking, he was watching you drink, but probably not. And it depends. Do you want to keep some? You could have kept some. You had 2 bottles. Would you have drank them all? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, then you've still got one. She goes, oh, dear. Um, Maratis, could you find somewhere to put that? And she goes, yous are my guests, it seems, so please don't gift me anything. As Omen is different to where I imagine yous come from, which is not Omen. And she just nods, affirming that as if I'm not asking, I'm telling. And she says, I am receiving you as guests. Let me bequeath on you my hospitality. I understand it was well meant, but it is tacky.
Good to know, because I think it's generally common to give gift as a sign. I look like confused. Like, I know at home, if you go to someone's house, you bring them something. Generally food. Oh, and interesting, that's not a thing here. It's good to know.
Yeah, Scott, you were saying, Crumbar? Maratas. Think of apparatus and then just say Maratus instead. She laughs and goes, probably not. He's quite fickle, that one. Yes, I probably should have had more. She kind of just looks off vaguely at the direction wherever he went with the bottle. And then looks back and goes, yous will make mistakes while in Omen. Limit it if you can. Try not to justify them. She waves vaguely as if that's a distasteful thought. And then she says, yous will be fed, and I assure yous will drink quite fine things while being a guest here. There are house rules, though. And she just looks at everybody once. There's like a big sweeping glance. And she says, upstairs is off limits. And ask if your curiosity is building beyond politeness. And she stands like a headmistress of waiting. Yes, Miss Spinell. So, yeah. She's looking at everyone as if, is there like affirmative nods from everybody, or is everybody just standing vague? Isla? Serene? Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And she goes, Mm. Aha. Yeah, I think she puts like her hand out as if like calling to Ruya, and she says something, and Ruya hops over to her finger. Ruya just hops straight over after, as I said, whatever it is that Lunaria says to her, and she like strokes her like gently, the way you would kind of like gently stroke a bird, and then she does seem to like whisper something to Ruya, who like cocks its head, and it hops over to like the big fountain, and starts like kind of just drinking from it. And she goes, "I don't think she'll be any trouble while she's a guest." I am pleased you brought it up this early. It was polite of you. I would appreciate that. As I said, if you have questions, I have some patience for them, but I am busy a lot. Omen is not a city for idling. And she just turns, like kind of like starts to clack her way back up the marble staircase. And then she just says over the shoulder, "Maratus will see to your lodgings." Yeah.
So look confused. I'm gonna look at Serena and be like, not cute. I'm like patting my horns. Like, they're attached. Oh, come off. Sharpen up sword. See? This way. This way. Let's get you fed and I look at Serena. Again. Yeah. Like, oh no. Hey. And I kind of like get I do think it's not the morning anymore. And therefore it's not morning drink. So it's probably not as bad. We still have that really nice bottle of wine. I do. So we can have a fancy bottle at some point. We should do that. But then Zedreka gave it to us. So.
Yeah, regifting is a bit. Oh.
Serene was sad. Serene sad. Sick.
definitely mean weeks, by the way. There, the game hasn't. I think in-game time probably hasn't even been 2 months.
Oh wow! Just before we start.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, do we contract?
Celestial. Same star.
Where's
Probably the top of the table, right? Like, so if yeah.
Miranda told me certain top table, so wherever each one of you are in this probably obnoxiously long table.
I want to be close to it. Think about that.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And he.
Guy.
He. Still he. Still he. Yep. Yep. It's like Natalie girl, Marata's boy. Mm-hmm.
So sorry, Bastille cast.
Guidance.
Guidance.
And the faint glow around you from Bastiel he's just put on you.
Oh. Yep. That is correct. That table is correct.
It's just, I always think, when anybody talks about a fancy dinner scene that's a ridiculously big table, I always think of that Batman movie when they just have to shout past the salt to each other.
Yep.
I love it.
She is truly wise. But the voice of dissent. Polemic.
This is a game.
Welcome.
I think, for me, I think even just the line, "Who would like to bring me up to speed with the grin that Mariah is capable of," is a good line to end on. For the session. The camera fades away from the Spinel estate, as it were. It drifts all the way to the other side of Omen. And nestles in on a very familiar cheeky face belonging to Moreno. And I don't know, starts like pacing through the crowd, and you're noticing that Omen doesn't really have a night time as such. Omen's just always on. And yeah, Moreno's walking through the crowds, and then it's a kind of close up of like his hands just kind of gliding by his sides, and then some hand like reaches out and grabs his wrist gently. The skin slightly glowing. And it says, "You seem like somebody I'm desperately in need of a conversation with." And then like Moreno's like sharp reaction to that turns and looks at the person, and then the camera fixates on a very angelic looking face of a middle-aged man with kind of golden light hair falling over his shoulders, and variously coloured robes that seem to change every time somebody looks at them. And then Moreno says, "And who exactly are you besides Gaudy?" And then there's just a big smile, a big warm smile on the face going, That's me. Yep. Pa," and puts his hand out. And then that's where we actually end the session. Nope. 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 Yeah. So, what would you like to call this session? Votes in the chat. I'm going to put my suggestion, which was City of Questions.
I was like, yes, we have somebody in a god squad. Let's pick them up.
I mean, Crumbar says is fully having endorsed the hooded woman, as a patron. So, yeah. What suggestions have we got, folks? A whole nother class. That's fun. Thank you. Any other suggestions and other votes? Maratas? Okay then, I'm gonna get a pun for that. It's actually awful, but I'm gonna type it anyway and you're gonna cringe. I told you it was really bad! You just wanted puns. I got nukes here, okay. Oh dear, I can't believe somebody voted for that. Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's not bad, yeah. Oh dear. Okay, anything else that isn't going to be me winning with the worst pun in the world?
I feel we have guesses of your.
Oh Christ, it's one. Let's just, let's swiftly move on. Yep, it's partly UnknOMEN. I love it. Oh dear gods. It's a good enough name. We're good. UnknOMEN. 101. It's all coming up Millhouse. So, let's see. Right, so, goals. Did we get a new alive genus? Did we learn the artifact's name and use? Did we locate GGW? Did we acquire the Black Fang Sphere? Did we find out what was done to the eye? Did we learn the Heart of the Mountain's name? Did we learn? Did we learn Moreno's motives regarding the party to see if he's trustworthy? And we uncovered information about Tiefling's link to the Abyssal Breach.
Not at all.
Have we got the GGW to upgrade any weapons?
Wait, what? Oh,
I'm legit just working my way down the list because there's no rubbing anything in. So, that's fine. Maratis, do you have any personal goals that you've had inspiration for through your first session, or do you need more time?
Atus would like to figure out Bastiel.
Okay, what's the qualifier there? Like, what is it you're trying to figure out from Bastiel?
Where it came from. He is clearly of a certain nature, and he wants to.
Okay, so I was gonna say there's a lot of things that might just come under it's a conversation, so it doesn't quite qualify as a goal. It would only be if I felt Bastiel was weirdly twisted and didn't want to ever let anyone know that. But from my experience of Bastiel, he's straight up just like opened his entire chassis up for people. So that can just happen. That won't even be there's no challenge to that, sadly. Nope, definitely not. But there's a... I wish it wasn't true. Yeah. But there's definitely more, like, you could work on, like, something Bastard related if you wanted. Like, it could definitely be, not so much, like, suss him out, but, like, it could be something like endear him to you, or something like that, right?
Not give too much.
We can leave that for now, and then we can see how that develops naturally in game to see if a goal shows up out of that, right? Because that could be fun to explore, I think. And then, yeah, is anyone changing their goals? Because I feel like you now have a new party member, and you have learned a bit more about Omen. So, what's the plan, right?
I don't know if it would count, but Ratus's skills help him with that.
To what end? What's the outcome for that? What would you like to achieve?
I'd like to understand what kind of magic it is. It is anti-magic, but I don't know if that.
I was gonna say, I feel like if someone's told you there's nothing magic to it and you recognise like someone casting detect magic, it's probably not gonna be something you'd pursue, right? Unless you didn't believe them.
It's just, what the fuck is this book?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this book? That is the goal.
It's not magic.
WTA is singing.
Yeah.
Must be outside of the bounds of magic still, because Eremos was able to use magic within in the king's throne room. Something to it. I definitely believe he would definitely do that.
I mean, the only thing is though, you only saw magic from Eremos in that Remastered Dwarf King was like stabbed. So unless the magic field was tied to Dwarf King, who knows?
It was a teleportation.
Yep.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Strawberry people. It's not even a cool trick anymore.
Can't do it yet. Yeah, it's always the yet excitement. Yep. So yeah, there is that, right? But it's something you could explore, right? You could maybe try and learn more about the book with, looping in Morass. That's not a bad project, yeah. Yeah, you could word it that way. I'm sure we'll find words for that, but yeah, put that in. I think that's good. It's more likely to happen here with access to the book and Moratis than the Heart of the Mountains name specifically, given you learned the difficulty of that quest recently. Yeah. Anyone else got any personal goals they're adjusting, or main goals they're adjusting? Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. You could have your goal be yeah, maybe assess High Druid's influence with an omen, maybe something like that. Yeah. That kind of that roughly catches what you mean. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Does somebody want to type that in for Arya as well for me?
What was that?
The wording was roughly like.
Oh, somebody else is gonna.
Oh.
I'll look out of the box.
No, no, no. Oh god, the formatting is awful.
They all did it at once and it made it angry.
Anyone.
What are you doing?
I was gonna say, anyone who did, undo. And the formatting will go back.
Everybody controls it.
And then you can control Shift V into it. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, control Shift V into the box, yeah. And that should be you now. There we go. Perfect. Rightio. Right, anyone else with goal updates beyond, like, more specifically general goals? So, yeah, so Serene, any general goal updates, or are you keeping your Moreno one? Yeah, no, that's fine. If you're happy to pursue it, yeah, that's good. He is just like literally off the leash wandering omen, which is a great fun for me. Mm. No. Yeah. You could even just change to learn what drives Moreno, right? If you wanted it just to be as simple as that. Yeah. Because the challenge is getting anything of substance out of him. And he's willing to lap up anyone's attention, quite frankly. He's definitely not shy about saying, well, of course I'm a dragon. Uh-huh. Yeah, because when you assessed it, it was a dragon, he's like, yeah, like, it's not every day there's a dragon in the city. And he goes, oh my god, you have a dragon here? Can I see it? And you're like, we know it's you. It's like, well, obviously I'm one. Yeah. Yeah. Or like, is that man that tall and made of stone? Is that who you're scared of? Tall stone man? I can understand that. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I do like it. Okay, Isla, what about yourself? Keeping your personal goal, or are you updating it for? Mm. Yeah. I think it's good. It's not a bad place, especially if Maratis is right and people here are trying to study what's going on. It's not a bad thing to involve yourself in, especially you are gifted in the same fields as a lot of these people. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a nice cost of knowledge, isn't it? In Omen, is you gotta loop in the person writing the book. On the plus side, some of the people, and not every author will be alive still, right? So, or just their descendants, right? Or people that manage their estates, I guess. Yeah. I don't know either. Omen's a weird place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Okay. Crumber, I see you've updated yours as well. To what end? Yep. To what end? Okay. About what? So is the goal update Magna on what we've been up to? Is that what you mean? Because that's what you want access to him for, right? So why isn't that the goal?
To gain an audience with King, I think should be where
Or as Rasir would say, the Wizard King of the world. Magna. Yeah. So yeah, like it just like I want to know what the conclusions of goals. Like, getting access doesn't necessarily mean you'll ever actually meet him. It just means you gotta be here at this time ticket. Again, that's the same wording. That's not a goal. The goal would be what you want the encounter of Magna to achieve. Right. Can has cool magic things, please. Yeah, sure. Like if you genuinely mean like update him on everything about Gestoria, yeah. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna change it to Gestoria because it is Gestoria, not Justoria, even though she was very just as a person.
Gestoria.
Yep. Right. So that makes sense to me. If it makes sense to you, good. And yeah, I'm trying to think for you, Maratus, if there's anything I can think. So obviously, if you've got an interest, like I don't know, what party member was the most interesting, based on your interactions alone, not necessarily what you know externally, just based on that session. What would you say?
Based on that session, it is cross probably between Bastille and Crombar.
Okay.
Bastille for a historical reason, Crombar for like a far modern, like to understand that way of thinking. Like, why are you?
Okay. Right.
Dependent on yourself, kind of thing.
Okay. What one do you think you could explore in a shorter time frame?
Probably Crombar.
Okay.
Bastille's gonna be a thing.
So.
I'm making it easy.
What I mean by that, right? So we'll obviously reword that to be something a bit more like actually qualifiable, but like get on the same page as Crombar in regards to what drives him, right? And by that, it's not just Maratus learning what drives Crombar; it's understanding it, right? Like realizing why he would look up to somebody like that, if that makes sense. I think would be quite a good goal.
That'd be really cool to really like some like regard to.
I think it's good, yeah. I think it's a really good thing to explore because it does bring up, obviously, newest cast member with one of our earliest. So it's a good one to pull up, especially since GGW is obviously a big main event in the forefront of players' minds, given everything that's happened. So, yeah. Right, so can anybody think of better wording for what I've put that in? Because I don't think Godbrother Crombar really does sell that. Oh, sadly. I think it is just because the phrase really is understand Crombar, right? Really.
Understand Crombar's faith.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, pop that in. Yeah, I think that's good. That can be the goal. Yeah. As I said, the qualifier for me is definitely once Maratus actually internalizes the understanding of it, not just Crombar saying, "Here's the reasons." Because being told something and believing it or getting it are two different things. So I quite like that. That's good. Also, did that go in? Because I saw it appear and vanish. There we go. Okay, perfect. Any general goals getting altered?
Just to get closer to the.
Sure, yeah, how do you want to explore that? Or does anybody else have any ideas of how they could explore that? That's not a bad angle, right? Because it's Omen related is why I'm excited about it, because I feel like you might want to capitalize on Omen or go somewhere where your goals lie. Because I feel like I was gonna say, yeah, because like you're looking at a city full of wizards, which may or may not know about this artifact, but if Magna didn't know about it, then again, you might think he might be sus, so shrug. Some other wizard might know about the artifact, right? If you had these individual, unrelated, completely separate quest items, and they were in the one pile, and a god hit them with a big fancy hammer from long ago, would you say that's a legit thing to steal the Abyssal Breach? And the wizard can be like, what? And spill his coffee down him. So, like, right, so that's something you could do through Omen, and I think that's not a bad goal, right, if you want to chase that up. Locate GGW, some of you were convinced he's here, right, so if you freed him, where be he? Which is interesting, right? And then you've got Fire Black Fang Spear. We know that obviously there's a connection with Magna there. This is Magna's gaff, as it were. Makes sense that that might be there, and obviously getting Eye of Janus, we know somebody has an Eye of Janus, it's Magna. All of these goals may or may not be Omen related. Completely. It just depends if you're going to push them, because if you're not, they should get deleted and replaced with things you will push for. I was going to say, yeah, that assumes he can give out eyes. Yeah. Yeah. Just swagger in, wide step, under the arm, fake mustache. Oh, dear.
And I think
No, yeah, it has. Also, I mean, keep in mind you have an elf now. Yeah, that's super meta though. These are player level goals, right? We know this. We know this. Like these are like what we quantify for XP for our characters. Our characters internalize these, right? So I feel like if you pulled out your quest book and went, so Miranda, as you can see, Rosira used magic to highlight this goal. We haven't been able to get rid of that. Yes. So if is this something you care about, or could you wipe it away? Yeah, I like that. So if you can see what I mean, like I think I get your thinking there, but I think what you want to do is have a conversation with Maratis about what you have done so far and what you have learned, and not in the here's everything we've met montage, but more in the case of here's what we need to do and what can you help us get done type of bridged conversation, the business conversation. So yeah, make use of Omen while user here. Because I don't imagine you particularly want to stay long, given how you have reacted thus far to it. It's weird, right? Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. I love how it's just straight down to, I know, like, there's no libraries. Why is there no just comp? Yeah,
It's like the way I internalized it was it's Val Royal Dragon Age. Val Royal. It's that place where you're like, oh.
So,
yeah, I feel like it's the first time that Isla's been like, why did I leave my village? What?
Mistakes have been made, yep.
Yeah.
It's like, is it too disappointing to let, Celeste and Cyril down just to go home? Yeah, nobody tells me to cut my horns off there. Right. So, right, goals. Are we keeping the general goals as is, or are we updating them? What's the plan, gang? Right, okay, if everybody's happy with that, just pop it into the ideas pile, yep. And then, what do you want to make it instead? Yeah, he's gone, that's fine. He's been dealing with whatever he's been told to deal with now. Very busy. Yeah.
Like locate investigation to assassinate. What was that?
How do you want to word that? Okay, so
What they think would take to the Elven Queen forest.
Okay, I mean, so just basically go find some smart people to theorycraft with. I could do that, yeah. You could just write theorycraft assassinations, right? But I would need like a qualifier to know when like it was done, right? What is it you're trying to learn out of that? Like,
Knowing what spell you have something like that.
okay, yeah, okay. So basically, what would it take to do that?
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
Well,
Now, I will put the qualifier here as a GM is, this is Omen, the capital of the human-centric city and kingdom, and we are questioning what can invade the dwarf king's safety and the elf queen's safety. So I'm going to give you that caveat, right? Which means the goal may or may not work, but it's definitely it's an angle you could investigate, 100%.
we might have to like people who know it's a tactical right, or something.
Yeah, and this is where the Royal Army are based. Omen is the capital. It's just you just haven't seen any guards looking around either. It's just, as I said, the university campus sans any kind of like defences. Because yeah, you just know how long it took you to get here. Never mind anybody else with a malicious intent. So yeah, every day happy with the theorycraft assassinations goal to go bother some smart people about? Or does anybody have any other suggestions about updating the general goals? Going once. Going twice. Nobody's lost themselves on mutes or anything, so going 3 times, and I guess that's goals. Excellent. Woohoo! Wrap up chat time. Why don't you start us off, Crumbar? Standard, yeah. Okay. What were you expecting? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yep, sure, I'll translate it into, yep, Celeste had approved Maratus the whole time. That's okay, yeah, Yeah. I also love how flipped you have become on Moreno already. It's like before you weren't that keen on Moreno, and now you're like, man, this guy's cool.
There are 2 equals.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. What do you think, what would be Crumbar's ideal get from his time in Omen? Like in a complete wish list, what would it be? I mean, one thing that you would love to leave Owen with. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna ignore 2 of them. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Okay, cool. So I didn't censor the one that was probably the most valuable of all of those things, yeah. Okay, interesting. I was curious something if Magna's home. What if he's at his, summer house? Wow. Oh god. Like, Magna looks at his kill sheet and goes, but the fucking whole Dragon Empire's on here, what are you talking about, pussy? Like... Oh dear. To be fair, he rightfully wandered off with you, to be fair. Didn't technically steal him. Yeah. Yeah. It seemed like he was trying to reach out. So, like, you know what that means? It means get arrested again. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that. Oh dear. I love how you have had such a good experience with the gods of this world, just to come up with Maratta's being like, yeah, gods suck. And you're like, didn't the god of Dwarven Justice, like, literally just declare Crumbar free? Like, wasn't that... Yeah. Yep. Granted, that cake did have, like, a file in it, but that's fine. Was it the crowbar? It was the crowbar. Yep. Yeah, giant Battenberg cake. I loved that. That was so good. I can't believe I rolled on a cake generator. I think I got a Battenberg cake. That was my favourite thing of that. Anything else, Scott? I love you too, buddy. And Isla. It's almost like it's really well named, isn't it? Good, good.
Yeah, interested in being with
Mm.
into the team.
Mm.
Because yeah, it's a quiet team.
Yep.
But yeah, also very stressed about this. Let's catch up. What have I missed? Because I'm definitely siding everyone going, do not fucking mention anything to do.
Yep.
Anything in this city at all. Do not mention it. None of the words go out.
It just turns into kissing adventures with Isla. Yep. That's fair. Very fair. Yeah. That's good. I'm liking the impact Omen's having so far. It's definitely not meant to be a comfy place for people that probably aren't meant to be there, right? Which I like.
Sweating all over dinner and I'm gonna be like, you good? Yeah, like, yeah, I'm totally fine.
Shaking the wine glass as it's pouring. Like, it's completely fine, you know?
I had to fix this fuck up once.
Yeah, every time somebody goes to say something, goes, I think what they're trying to say is nothing like about the dragons. No, less yeah. It's good. Good. Me too. The thing as well is, like, from a GM point of view, I didn't really know what you were gonna do to Omen, right? So I was like, this is gonna be quite exciting for me as well, because you could go the way I expect to go, or two other ways: very destructive or very productive. And that third way is what I'm still banking on, that I will not describe. So yeah, I'm excited to see which one of those three options it will be. But yeah, that'll be fun for me. Like, what are we good at? We're just really good at causing a mess. Was it? Ah. It's when Marina looks at her and goes, "Tilda Swinton? What?" And that's when I'd have cut it. Oh, yeah. No, it's good. It's good. Me too. Very much so. Bastille.
Absent.
Mm.
And, so stopped it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as the party cleric, it's an interesting kind of point of view to end up at, right? When you're like, yeah, my powers all come from, like potential gods in the sky, and you're saying that doesn't matter here. Probably true.
Yeah, you gotta try.
Yeah. What? I'm into that storyline. That's a good arc to have, buddy. Yep. Break the laws of reality, then reject gods. Go retire with dad. Yep. Team Wizard, I'm sensing. That's what I'm sensing. Bastille. That's all.
Thing was the second name was Spinel.
Spinel.
Mine went to spin a red. Then Ryan was like, "Yeah, you fucking."
Mm.
And then you get more click
Mm-hmm.
tails. They're like dogtail. They have like weird spider.
Oh no, it's a drider. It's a drider.
Yeah, there's a weird, big, puffy, old-fashioned dress with the big, massive train at the back of it. There's this weirdly, like, multiple clacking, like there's too many feet under there, but we can't see. No, there was none of that. Don't worry. That'd been amazing had that been like the visual. You just got this big, ridiculous, like almost was it the Titanic episode of Futurama where it's the female robot bender like falls in love with, who's like part robot, or motorboat or whatever it was. Just that massive kind of big kicked out dress. Yeah, just housing creepy. Creepy spider bits. No, thank you. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was nice that you had a interesting take on your experiences in Omen thus far. Yeah. And anything else, Bastille? Serene. Leaning over, was Celeste drunk when she phoned him, or? Mm. Oh, good. I'm enjoying it, yeah. I was gonna say, and nothing traumatic happened, which was good. Mm. In like the last handful of days.
Yeah, it's just kind of.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh dear. Anything else, my dear? Then go, and Arya. Mm. Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Mm. Yeah, all eyes on Omen, yeah. Well, not anymore, I suppose. I was gonna say not anymore, I guess. Right? Being fire immune and everything. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Nice. There you go. Yep. Yep. Frostbite is his new worst enemy. Yep. You're good. Ah, good. You're also going to find that Ruya is going to be very attentively happy with its place at that little kind of fountain for your stay in that manor. Yes. Mhm. Yeah, I know, right? Mm. This just sounds like you're like sharpening a blade as you're saying this. Like, how dare she? Whetstone style. Yeah, uh-huh. Very threatening. It's okay. Added to effect. It was good. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, good. Anything else, my dear? Right? Hmm. Yeah. He is an odd ball.
Why? Just why?
I still liked your kind of like your mental disagreement with him being called Moreno because what was it, Spanish for dark haired? Was that it? Yeah, I enjoyed that too. That was funny. Like nothing about you makes sense. Yeah, that's good. Mm. Hmm. Yeah, super secret clubhouse. Yep. Uh huh. Yep. I mean, to be fair, they're kind of similar on paper, so that's yep. Yep. Um. Yeah. Not good. I still just loved Moreno's approach to that statue, being like, I mean, that's made of stone, just as if trying to remind Crombar that's not a person. I was like, is he meant to be that tall? Adorable. Yeah. Well, last but not least, unless I've really missed some out, and then I'm really, really sorry, but we'll edit it out in post so I don't look like a shitty GM. Moradus.
That was so much. Guys, thank you so much. Great first session. I am having so much fun with yous in multiple senses of that phrase. It is. I'm just looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to the inevitable ups and downs, and learning more about your characters. The difficult part of not meting. Doing my best. I hope I'm as I've been watching you, as I said to some of you earlier, since the incident with Arse and the dwarves. So I know a lot more about yous than yous do about me. I'll stop there.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed my portrayal of your mother NPC.
Yes,
you fed me.
That is, yep, you answered her down perfectly. I gave you a few characters to base it off of, and you got that nail on the
Good. I'm glad, because it is sometimes tricky when you're pulling up characters from people's backstories where they'll have an idea for somebody, and you're like, I need some guidance here. Give me a couple of words to try and play this person off as.
The words I gave Ryan for it was Oregon from Dragon Age, but with the air of like, don't fuck with me from like Motoko Tsunagi, of just like holds herself extremely high but is as cold and twisted as Morrigan. That's who she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the kind of same way the basis of my character is Starion from Baldur's Gate 3, Vivian from Dragon Age Inquisition, and V from Devil May Cry 5. So, walks around with Kane. Trust me, once you get to know him, you'll see more things kind of branch out. But yeah, that's the basis of him. So, you're probably seeing more of like the Vivian Astarion right now, unfortunately. Full of their self upper class. It was me!
Wow, spoilers! Wow.
I mean, you've never seen me in Magna. It's fine. But no, I am learning to have against him at all. No.
Yeah,
I
like,
love the fact you're just like, and I'm like, oh, it's
like, I can't believe you would just say that. Yeah, do you want to touch it? Yeah. As the wonderful GM I am, I said, why not just keep it? Yep. It is, yeah, it is. It's a long, creepy hand. It has stats. So yeah, yep. So yeah. Anything else, Moradus? That was good. I think. My fear, but my fear generally was that Natalie would scare you guys off. I'm not gonna lie. I've known Natalie for a long ass time. And yeah. Oh dear. Fair. It's going to be the equivalent of how many marshmallows can you fit in your mouth at once bullshit between the two of you, and I love it. Yeah, no, that's good though. There's nothing wrong with a bit of like, back and forth competitiveness, right? As long as it doesn't become disruptive, we're all good, and by that I mean on a player level. So yeah. Yeah, I think for the most part that was an interesting introduction for a new player, character, and location at once. It was quite good timing for me because it meant I could just get somebody to be of this location, and it just so happened that obviously Natalie wanted to make somebody of woman, which was handy. So yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that a lot. Always nice to introduce new NPCs and old NPCs. I have a soft spot for Moreno because he's like a weirdly stuck-up dumb person, and he's kind of adorably just been left to wander a new city alone, and I think that's hilarious. Right? Like, I love that. He's like a total himbo. Oh dear. So, I just think that's just... Right? It's gonna be hilarious to see like what shenanigans happen, because already he seems to have bumped into a god? Omen? What the hell? Yeah, so I'm excited to see if you even ever learn of that, or if it just becomes, what do the party get up to now, and whose fault is it? Because I think there's now a competition for whose fault it might be, which would be interesting to see for me. Yeah, but anyway, yep. Me too. I can't wait for next week, obviously. There's a couple of conversations I'll have with a couple of the cast members during the week, obviously, for getting some of the background admin sorted out, because I need to talk to Bastille a bit more and also Maratis a little bit more. But once I get that sorted, that's all good. Obviously, if anybody else has any admin, please hit me up, because I actually have mental energy again, which is nice. Until then, thank you all for playing, thank you all for watching, and say goodbye to everybody.